Hey everyone, and welcome to Uncharted Realms' Sunday event. It's Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz. 6 rounds of it. Brought to you by myself, Brent, and streamer to be named, sitting in the awesome production studio. Happy to bring you coverage. Excited, actually, for just 6 more rounds, as usual. A little bit about Out of the Box Gaming, who's sponsoring, or this is their event. We're just providing you coverage of it. Out of the Box Gaming is a store local to Thomasville, North Carolina. They have in-store play and a marketplace for trading card singles. So you know what that means. Tales of Aria coming up. You're going to need some extra cards for those decks, or you're watching the calling. See what's coming out on top. Tweak it up a little bit, tune out the decks, get the spicy stuff. Out of the Box Gaming will get you what you need. So make sure you check them out in person or online at outoftheboxgaming.com. So round 1 here. Round 1 of 6, Frederick and George are going to be our first starting players. We have Frederick on the... we have George on the Chane and Frederick on the Boltyn. There we go. And Boltyn with the Raiden there. So not the most spiciest of equipment on his side of the field. Does have an Iron Rod helmet. But take a look. Spring Tunic. Snapdragon Scalers, and the Gallantry Gold. So not actually that bad, just opting for the helmet. Probably still waiting on the skull cap. You know where he can get it, though. Outoftheboxgaming.com. Keep that in mind. George, we're going into his turn 1. Frederick was our active player, and he just soul-fooded, put all the cards in his hands, into his soul, and passed the turn. George over here has the skull cap, Carrion Husk, Grasp of the Arcanite, and his own Snapdragon Scaler. So George here led things off with Seeds in a Ghostly Visit after making a Soul Shackle. So pretty decent turn 1. 2 Arcane plus 4 damage. And not too shabby. We also see a Whisper pitched away there. A pretty solid generic action card. You see it sometimes in a Wizard, as the Wizard can use it with the Wizard ability to refresh their action point with the Go Again. And we may actually see some more spicy stuff in the new set where you can play non-attack action cards as instances. I know that there's a few cards that got revealed that would allow you to do that. So I'm excited for spicy decks. Get your tails stuff ready. We're going to be coming at you with the first Tails eligible tournament, for at least for us, on the Friday after the release. So next weekend's going to be no live streams because of pre-releases. We hope everybody goes and supports pre-releases where they can and get that first edition product so you can come back on that next Friday and just come crush it with your Lexi decks. That's what I'm talking about. Speaking of Lexi Armory Kit on the line right now. 2 Lexis up for grabs. Cold foil bow. It's pretty nice. It's a little bit chilly, but, you know, I get a little shiver when I look at it. Anyways. So, Frederick decided how he wanted to block now. He's going to block 3, his helmet, and a soul food. So, Frederick just looks like he's trying to set up, and looks like a Luminous Boltyn potentially here. So, I believe. Oh, okay. Yep, there we go. They were talking about on-hit triggers, but nothing there for Ghostly Visit. And then George will come in with the Nebula Blade for 4. And if it hits, Rune Chant will be created, and that's what it does. Frederick falls down to 13. George creates a Rune Chant and has a very solid turn 1 play. After Frederick's setup, George wasn't even able to cycle out cards if he had wanted to, but still made use with his opening grip. So not too shabby there from George. So into Frederick's turn, 3 cards in hand. No longer has a helmet. His Tunic's up at 2. So we'll need 1 more turn before that's active and has banked a resource there. But before we talk more about the game, how are you guys doing? Are you guys excited? You know, it's football Sunday. It's calling weekend. Well, at least for those in the U.S. We had Formula 1 going today, as graciously pointed out by some of our more European players. Who do you also have in this match, Frederick or George? I think my vote's got to go to Chane, especially after that crazy turn 1. But Frederick, though, has a good setup already in the soul. It's going to be able to give a lot of go against. So Gallantry Gold was or excuse me, Stubby Hammers. I keep calling this Gallantry. That would be the incorrect one. Stubby Hammers. Plus up to Take Flight. Take Flight came in for 4. And that will end the turn there for Frederick. He's just going to Arsenal and pass away. George took 4. So George, into his turn, 4 cards in hand. His Soul Shackle, though, hit his Command and Conquer, which would have been pretty good right now, all things considered. There's an Arsenal card there. Command and Conquer specifically can't play defense reactions against it. And if it hits, you destroy your opponent's Arsenal card or cards with the new set. Take a look at that Lexi, well, it's technically generic. The generic Ranger headpiece gives you a second Arsenal zone while you have a face-up card in your arsenal. So George here makes a shackle and plays another ghostly visit. Here's the second one. So that rune chant's going to come in with it, thanks to it being an attack. It does have go again from the Soul Shackle, or from Chane's ability. So 2 resources floating for George, 2 cards in hand, and an attack for 4 plus 1 arcane coming in. Frederick couldn't take it all. Falls to 8. Doesn't have any no rune available, which is pretty critical in this, or can be critical in this matchup. Frederick just opting for more DPS, but George might not give him a shot to do it. George made a rune chant with the grasp, and then E strikes in here for 7 plus 1 arcane. So 8 total. That's potentially lethal. Frederick's sitting on 7 now after the arcane resolution. So Frederick, wisely pointing out that he does have to block this. I would agree, unless he wants to die, which he definitely doesn't want to do. So Frederick only was able to block for 2, and he will fall to 5. Yeah, that would block for 2 on that one. Get that updated. All right, Frederick's Tunic, go back into his turn. 3 cards in hand. Tunic is up to 3. Actually, I believe that was a block for 3. Yeah. So it's actually 16 to 3. Not a block for 2, as was pointed out. It is a block for 3. So it is 16 to 3 is the accurate one. Our players here do. I had it indicated at 2, but speaking of 2, Take Flight was an attack for 2, and then Frederick's doing double. Lumina's after that. So here we go. Not a bad 3 grip to... Not bad 3 grip plus 1 in arsenal to have. Frederick's going to gain some life and come in with the Raiden here. He will be able to attack with this 3 times. And he'll be able to give it go again because it comes up, because it has a power greater than the starting. And I want to go ahead and get the life totals accurate here.
He said take 5.
All right, so, yep, just making sure 14-3, both players got it accurate. As the Luminas come in, because it's going to start to matter, because Frederick is going to potentially start gaining some life. George throws the Carrion Husk in front of it. That was a block for 6. So first attack didn't hit. Frederick gave it go again out of the Boltyn ability. Was able to banish a card from his soul. Give that attack go again. Comes in with a second for 5. George blocking 5. Critically there, he is throwing an attack in front of it. He may take that back. Does not want to pump this. That would make the Raiden attack for 6. Thanks again to Boltyn's ability. If you block with an attack action card, it will pump it up by +1 for the turn. So George took 3 there. Blocked 2 off the grasp. It's a light card. There we go. Frederick gains a life up to 4. And George will come in for another attack for 5. So not too shabby there, equaling it out. It's not often you see double Luminas in Blitz. Generally you see it in Classic Constructed after the Boltyn player gets a chance to use some of his life total. Doesn't quite have that ability in Blitz, but hey, Frederick just found it and sent it, so not too shabby. So George blocking 2 cards out of the hand and 2 equipment. His Carrying Husk is gone. Grasp is at 1 counter. And only 2 cards to work with on his turn, but Chane's going to have 2 shackles, so let's see what he gets on the shackles. Vexing is a miss. And a Soul Reaping is a miss too. Oh, not the best luck. Getting some of the same chain energy as the Calling guys there. Some of the on-stream banishes were pretty rough. All things considered, that is going down on Channel Fireball right now. If you're interested to see what's going on over there, they are in their day 2. But the more exciting stuff, if you ask me, is happening right here, right now, with Uncharted Realms, with our event. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased. Probably a little bit biased, but or with our coverage. So, big keynote there is Frederick. I believe missed the second Luminous trigger on his initial hit and only did 1 card, but I can't quite remember. I'm not gonna dig into it too deep, but that would be considered for those wondering, a missed trigger or missed beneficial effect. So he's got to resolve it himself. He's got to remember it for his own cards, unfortunately. So George seeds in a Nebula Blade. Coming in for 4. If it hits, make a Rune Chant. Frederick's at 4, so I don't think this one's going to hit. Frederick overblocks it. 3 and 3, up to 6. That would be the optimal way to block with 2 cards. So keeps himself alive. 2 cards in hand. Now the Boltyn no longer has its combination. So his attacks are going to be a little bit below. His turns are going to be a little bit below average of his opponent's turns. But speaking of a good card, Command and Conquer for 6. It's a great way to keep your threats kind of rolling. George definitely doesn't want to take 6 here, as he mentions, but he doesn't have anything in Arsenal, so he's not worried about losing any cards out of there. George has a life total here he could use to soak up this damage. He would fall to 4 himself, and we have a all-square game going into George's turn with 4 cards in hand, plus the shackle, but George going to block for 2. 1 with the Skull Cap, because he's at higher life, and 1 with the Grasp, since it is at 1 counter. George will take 4, fall to 6. 2 life above his opponent. And keep in mind there, George does have the Carrying Husk in his banish zone, so he is guaranteed on a 6-turn clock. Riftbind's a good hit, but oh man, George, how many shackles is that? 6 shackles finds 1. My heart goes out to him. Frederick could rip this game right away from him because of stuff like that. Oh man, and it's a blue Riftbind for those squinting at their screens right now. That is not very lucky here for George. But we'll see what he can do. So throws the meet and greet down at the bottom to Art of War. That'll help him get into the banish zone. So he'll banish a card and do +1/+1. So everything's pumped up by 1, and George is able to get a card he can play out of banish. They're into the banish zone. So Art of War effectively giving George an extra card. Cost him a pitch and the Art of War to play it. He drew 2 to replace it, and that 1 that he used to do the banish is a active card for him. So a net positive here for George. Didn't net any resources, unfortunately, because he had a red pitch for the Art of War, but still, not too shabby. Great card there for Chane. George, considering his turn, needs to try to put some pressure on. Remember, he is also on a clock. He can't delay the game. Starts a plunder run from hand, so not going to have the plus effect, but George is looking to draw more cards. He wants to string this turn along, play a little bit of solitaire with himself. That's what Chanes like to do. Oh, George was stacked on Plunder Run. A very red hand as well. Unhallowed Rites, Plunder Run, Plunder Run. And his pitch were all red. So Unhallowed Rites here for 5. If it hits, draw. Now, George also could put a non-attack action card with Blood Debt from his graveyard to the bottom of his deck, but is choosing not to. George has 1 card in hand, no resources floating, and that Riftbind is still in his banish zone. So as it looks right now in the Blood Debt category, George would be taking 2, unless he can play that Riftbind. He did Soul Shackle, so Unhallowed Rites does have go again. So my guess is he can play the Riftbind, which will come in for a 1 pump off the Plunder Run and 1 pump off the Art of War's top ability. Art of War itself is a instant, so it will not trigger the Plunder Run's non-attack action. Frederick considering. This is a lethal attack coming at him. Doesn't have to worry about Arcane right now. George would have loved to seen just a handful of seeds here. And some Rune Chants. Frederick blocking 3. Taking 2 at the moment. 4 reactions. Nothing from George, but Frederick does have a sink below. And he's going to sink a card. So Frederick blocks it to 7, optimally or choosing there to not take a damage and keeping the card in hand. So he must like what he can do with just the 2 cards. I think he might have been another red. Or no, that was a blue one. All right, so yeah, that was a blue seeds. So here's that Riftbind. No, it wasn't red seeds. His whole hand was red. Oh my god. I'm squinting there looking at the color cards. Ripbind 3, blocks 3. Frederick goes into his turn with 1 card in hand. Could have taken a damage to do to had 2, but I think he's just okay with that 1. He's just going to arsenal it and draw back up. George falls to 5, thanks to the Carrion Husk. Now he's finding triggers. Oh, this might end it here. Oh my gosh, though. George, please. 10 banishes, finds 3 total. Oh man, George is definitely not happy with that. I'll tell you what. Oh man. Talk about some rough luck. Luckily for George, he does have the advantage in the game right now. But he's given his opponent, he's given Frederick a solid chance to potentially come back into this game. But George does have more ways to get stuff into the banish zone. Shadowversary 2, thanks to the fact that George banished a card from hand as an additional cost. He banished a card with Blood Debt. It gains go again. Shadowversary does. So Frederick getting a clarification of what's in the banish zone there for George. George does still have a shackle available to give something go again. So he can definitely clear out his banish zone here, minus the Carrion Husk. Blue Seeds will only trigger on 0 cost. I will put 1 arcane damage there on the effect. George has the option here to pay for a Rune Chant and just get in there with the arcane damage. George is considering trying to be able to make one. He's looking through his cards. Pitches a blue to make a Rune Chant. And then all George needs now is that 0 cost attack. Makes a Soul Shackle. And Bounding Demagon will do it. So 2 arcane coming across, plus the Bounding Demagon means Frederick is about ready to get zapped down with the hexes, with the arcane damage. As Bounding Demagon's 0 cost will trigger the blue seeds, and then the Rune Chant will trigger on when he plays the attack action card. And George takes it in round 1 with a very unlucky banish zone. I got worried for him, but hey, you know what? It can only go up from there. You can't get worse than 3 out of 10, I don't think, in a chain deck. But we'll see. You know what? He may make a case for it in later rounds. But for now, that'll close it out here for round number 1. Remember, this is Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz event, brought to you by us, Uncharted Realms. So stick around. That was round 1. We have 5 more rounds of awesome action coming at you. So don't go anywhere, and we'll catch you guys shortly. Hey everyone, and welcome to Uncharted Realms' Sunday event. It's Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz. 6 rounds of awesome action coming at you today, brought to you by myself, Brent, and sitting next to me, the streamer to be named, and an awesome production studio, having a good time, excited for these remaining rounds. So we still got 5 of them. This is 2 out of 6. We got Allie and Max. But before we get into our players too much, a little bit about Out of the Box Gaming. Out of the Box Gaming is a store local to Thomasville, North Carolina. They specialize in in-store play. They have a pre-release coming up on Friday. Friday night should be some awesome action. And they also have a nice marketplace online for trading card singles. So, new set coming up. You need some new cards, or you're just looking to spice out some of your older decks based off of calling results. Check out Out of the Box Gaming in person or outoftheboxgaming.com. They can get you the cards that you need. So now back into our players. We have Allie, who's been on stream before, and Max from the Fighters Guild, gracing us with their presence today. Allie, hailing out of Canada there, trying to represent the North America. So we're going to start here with for Max as our turn 1 player. Allie just going to defend out there from the hands. Max started out with Kadachi. Allie took 1 Kadachi, blocked the second one to prevent the mask, which is the most optimal way to prevent the mask there. And then blocks Max's last attack, and then Allie will draw up. Max will draw up. Max gets the arsenal advantage. So who do you have in this matchup? Do you have Allie? Do you have Max? I'm going to go with Ira, I think. I think Ira in this matchup does really well if they can get the mask going. But don't count Allie out. He's going to be our tempo player, starting off with a Warrior's Valor red and then the Dawnblade. Unfortunately, he had a very red hand, so he's only going to have 1 card left remaining. Max is going to block 6. Allie didn't have, could only have had the Iron Song response there since he had no energy floating. So he will end his turn and go back into Max. So Allie gets a card in the arsenal and 2 cards out of Max's hand. Max now Tunic on 2. Kadachi starts off with the Kadachi for 1. You're going to go with Dory, yeah. Okay, yeah, she is performing, even though, she was one of those not quite looked at kind of heroes, and then did just crazy business. And Road to Nationals results, actually. So, Max here with an awesome Kadachi. It hits, nobody wants to block the first one. And then a push the point afterwards to give it the +2, and then Iroh's +1, up to 7. Max could have ultimately also given it go again with the Snapdragons, but didn't have to. Allie has now taken 5 damage total after the last turn. Wanted to keep his hands pretty healthy, which I agree with him looking at this combination, looking at this string. Both these players, rapid fire, firing it off. They want to make this quick, fast, and in a hurry. Spoils of War, Warrior's Valor. That's Allie's second Warriors of Valor, so he will have no more of those in the red color for the rest of the game, but trying to make good, effective use of them as he's got them. Dawnblade's up to 8. Allie's hunting for that counter. Max, no blocks, into reactions, no reactions from Max. Takes 8, and Allie crushes back in there for a health advantage. First blood into Max. Is not going to let himself get knocked down. So Allie pumping with the Braveforge, and then Dawnblade. So an attack for 4. Allie technically created a copper tokens here, but Dawnblade Dorinthea doesn't usually care about it, so most of the time it's forgotten. Max blocks for 4 with the with the Flick Flack, and gets to go back into his turn with 3 cards in hand. So Kadachi for 1, no surprise there. As Allie draws up, he'll take a look at his grip and see what he wants to take. Most likely we'll take the 1 and block the second one. Ultimately, to block against the mask. Mask momentum there is the key thing for Max here as he's trying to proc. If he hits If he has an attack that's a third attack or higher to hit in a chain link in a row, he gets to draw a card. That was a very weird way of reading out that ability, but it is what it is. So Max came in life for life. Has to go again because he had less life, and he'll gain a life since a hit. Ali took all of it down to 9. So 13 to 9, both these players just rapid fire sitting. Like I said, it's an explosive matchup. Normally you see this kind of with Wizard players just going ham, but Max, no chill, just coming straight out. Torn at tempo. If it hits, go again. It is an attack for 5. Max has nothing floating, but he does have a card in Arsenal. He will draw off the mask, crucially there. Can also get him some more pitch, so can come in with another Kodachi and potentially the card in Arsenal if it's an attack reaction, or if it's an attack action and not a defense reaction. Max here not considering. He may opt to keep this, may like the card. Nope. Kodachi for 1, 2 floating. Ali blocks it for 1 with his boots. Refraction borders there, likely to get popped here in the next couple of turns, so definitely want to use those while you can. The refraction borders will allow Ali a chance to give his Dawn Blade go again. That's his 3rd Red Warrior's Valor. Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that, fellas. I'm back, and ladies. I know one of them at least is in here. How you doing, Kat? But so we had a Ali accidentally had 3 Red Warriors Valor in his deck. So this is Blitz, not classic constructed. A little bit of a mistake there on his switch. I know Ali's been playing classic constructed lately, so no problem there. We've all been there. So just had to get a replacement, and we moved on with the turn. Or at least get it out of deck. So I had to make it a legal deck, and we moved on. So in here we had Dauntless Warriors Valor into Dawnblade. So it was 8 total. Defense reactions cost 1 more. Max took 8, fell to 5, came in with another Dawnblade here. Max blocks 3. Iron Song response. Reprise is now triggered. And so Max responds with pitching a Razor's Reflex to pay for the tax on the Flick Flack. So 6 and 6. And Ali will end his turn. Try to get the counter. It was close. Good try there, Ali. But not quite able to do it. So Matt going to Max turns. Kadachi for 1. Max had 2 cards to work with here. So Ali kind of has tempo advantage here, more or less. But Max threw away a Razor's Reflex, or pitched one there on the previous turn, which could have ended this game up. Remember, Ali's at 4, so a +3 pump is not anything to be just disregarded completely. Max here considering. Has 1 injured fluke. Is going to raise his reflex that. Wants to push the damage. So he had a second one in hand. So 5 total. So Ali will take 3. Falls to 1. Now these Kadachis are super lethal. Max going to be in a very controlling spot here. As long as he can survive through this turn and leave enough available to come in with Kadachi. Kadachi does have his Tunic at 3 there. So he does have a banked resource there. So there's Ali's second Warrior's Valor of yellow. So a +2 there. Plus the Dawnblade means it's coming for 5. Max considering. Very tough spot here for both players. Max is facing down a lethal attack, so he will definitely have to have considerations on attack reactions. Does have his mask to work with for 2, so I expect Max to potentially throw 2 cards and the mask in front of it to overblock. So hit and run was in the pitch. Ali's got 2 cards in hand, 1 card in arsenal to work with. Max not considering. Or still considering. Kind of says to me that he doesn't really have a defense reaction to work with. Or potentially doesn't have one. That he could then keep himself safe from any attack reactions. Max wants to ensure he goes to his turn with at least a couple Kadachis. Will block 8 out of the hands. I like it. I would have liked to see maybe the mask. Ali here with a Twinning Blade. Oh, yeah. I was about to say a Twinning Blade and a Glisten. Or excuse me, Glint. Not Glisten. That's Prism. Will allow this Dawnblade to come in again for another 3 as Ali draws a card off the Glint. So not too bad. So right now, it's a 5 or 8. Twinning Blade will allow this Dawnblade to attack again without Dorinthea's ability there. So it's possible here that if Ali gets another hit, he can still trigger this Dorinthea's effect and come in 3 times with this Dawnblade. So Racers into Dawnblade for 4. 1 card in hand. Should be 2 floating. It's a tough spot here for Max. It's definitely going to need to throw the mask in front of this, I would imagine. Ali had the perfect response to an overblock there. Benji, overrated or underrated? I don't know. I've yet to see a lot of Benji do well. I mean, I know streamer to be named here did try out a lot of Benji and did it to pretty good effect way back in the day, but I've yet to see it really take off again. But so it's very possible it's a dark horse. All right, so back into the action here. Singing Steel Blade. All right, so Max sigiled. So 1 second here. All right, so a little bit of a reprise questions there. Reprise was not active for the Singing Steel Blade to go search, so we had to make sure there was some clarification there. And so that means that Allie is at 1. Max is on 3. Could only come in with 1 Kodachi. The Skull Cap used to block, and that will be the end of Max's turn. Back to Allie. 4 cards in hand. So Allie still has a good chance here to take this game. Max tried. That was a very good effort, though, there from Allie to try to win the game. But Max trying to put the shields back up, trying to tank through the turn. He does have 2 block on the Skull Cap, 1 block on the Tunic available. So could potentially block for 4 without triggering Reprise, which he may want to do here. Especially if he's got any defense reactions to hand, it could make it very easy for him to make that decision, but still in considerations. Max really needs to just string together 2 Kodachis to start the tempo back in his advantage. You think if he can keep 1 card in hand now? Max blocks for 9. Goes over 2 cards in there for Allie. This is possible for Max to lose here. So Max blocks 9. Allie pitches. Could be an overpower here. That'll do it. Overpower up to 10. Does Max have the defense reaction? Oh, no, excuse me. Max is not at 1. Max is at 3, so he takes 1, goes into 2. Allie can now give this go again with his refraction boulders. Oh, Iron Song Response was the pitch, and Blue Dauntless was the pitch, as Max wants to know what's coming up later. So Dawnblade currently doesn't have go again, so hold on. Okay, there we go. Refraction Boulders went. Give that go again. So Dawnblade coming in here for 4. Max does still have the mask. Max wants to keep the mask. Blocks for 3. Takes 1. Falls to 1, but no cards in hand now. We'll go back into Allie's turn, with Max just drawing up. We'll likely see the mask. Max has got to come out here onto the field at some point. Max does not want to use his head to block just yet. Iron Song Determination, though, is the card. So Max blocks for 5. This is going to trigger Reprise, so this might do it here. Route does it there for Allie. So Max gets routed back, and Allie takes game 1. Or excuse me, this game in round number 2. This is not game number 1. This is not Magic. So a little bit of a craziness there, but Allie will end up taking it there. Max gave it a great effort, gave it a great try, but Allie just happened, I think, at that critical moment when Max went to overblock it, keep himself safe going to his turn. Allie just had the Twinning Blade Glint combination to get around it. It was definitely a mind game there, but that will close it out here for round number 2. We'll catch you guys quick, fast, in a hurry in round number 3, so don't go anywhere. And we got more. We got 4 more rounds of Blitz coming at you. Hey everyone, and welcome to Uncharted Realms' Sunday event. I'm Brent alongside streamer to be named, and we're excited to bring you coverage of Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz event. This is round 3 of 6. And we have Ali yet again, and another familiar face here, Lico, hailing out of Australia, trying to bring the Canadian down. Knock him down a peg, send him more to the States, not as north. That's a pretty poor geography joke there, but before we kind of get into the gameplay here, a little bit about Out of the Box Gaming. Out of the Box Gaming is a store local to Thomasville, North Carolina, and they have in-store play and a marketplace for trading card singles. They got a pre-release coming up. Gonna have first edition products to get you fellas there as well, and shiny cold foils and other pieces that you might be looking for your deck. So if you want to build that new Lexi, or more specifically the new Guardian, check out Out of the Box Gaming in person and at outoftheboxgaming.com and get your cards brewing action going to you. So into the gameplay, we actually have some crazy business here. Lico, turn 1 player, Kadachi in a Razor's Reflex. He's trying to push the damage, not push the point, that's another card, but push the damage, as Lico finds himself 3 damage to the positive going into Ali's turn 1. Ali gonna swing Dawnblade, coming in naked, only for 3. Lico can opt to not block this, not trigger reprise. Ali here playing Dawnblade Dorinthea, looking for reprise triggers. He's hoping that his opponent blocks from the hand so that he can continue to pump up his Dawnblade. So Stroke of Foresight, though, is a card there that doesn't need to pump up. Or it doesn't need reprise to pump up. It's +3. Ali's not thinking if he wants to go even further than that. It will only be for this attack. Who do you have here? Do you have Dorinthea or do you have Ira? Yet again, it's another matchup, Ira v Dorinthea. I went Ira last time and it was close. And I thought it was going to be Ira, and I was wrong. But here we go again. Ali is going to try it. I think I still have to go with Ira. I don't know. It's pretty close. It was a close game though. Ali though gonna try to make a case to prove me wrong yet again. Pumps with the Brave Forge. So Lico took 6 thanks to the Stroke Dawnblade. Ali considering whether he actually wants to Brave Forge there. Takes it back. Ali just wants to come at for a plain 3. So no resources floating there from Ali. 2 cards in hand. Kind of tells me he's got an attack reaction. It's usually what it means when you don't see a Brave Forge pumped. So now Lico's got the choice to make. Does he think... what does he put Ali on? He will get a counter here if this Dawnblade hits. Lico does not want this Dawnblade to hit, so we'll block 6. Ali gonna Singing Steelblade. Iron Song in the pitch. One was blue, one's red. And he'll find the red Iron Song response to give it +3. So coming up for pumping it up by 4, coming in for 7. Lico's got a Flick Flack though. Pumps his block up to 9. So Lico, 1 card in hand, 1 card in arsenal. Ali's now out of cards. Did pop his bolters there to try to give the Dawnblade a counter. But Lico stonewalled it up with some defense reactions, and Ali is going to have to pass on that. 4 cards in hand to start, as Lico only 1. A little bit of a equipment check there from Ali. Wants to know what his opponent's running. It's a Masked Tunic, bracers, and the Scalers. So Lico, Kadachi, maybe? Ooh, no, excuse me. Kadachi Command and Conquer for 7. His Tunic's at 2. Lico's is, so he'll need another turn to be able to get an extra banked resource. Now, Ali doesn't have anything in arsenal, but still, a 7 attack is pretty decent. Gonna likely require a response there. Ooh, Nourishing Emptiness. It's the block here from Ali. Pretty money card in Dawnblade Dorinthea. It has Dominate and +1 Intellect if you have no other attack actions in the graveyard. And usually, Dawnblade Dorinthea doesn't. So, Sharpened Steel, Warrior's Valor, so 9 total. Coming at Lico. pretty big attack here. If it hits, it will have go again. 1 resource floating here for Ali. So we'll see here. Liko may just end up taking all this 9, fall to 5 if he has a big hand coming in. He knows Ali can only get 12 damage total this turn. Liko's sitting at 12. Liko's sitting at 14, and he could be facing down 12. So Liko, just clarification, everything coming at him. 9. On hit, go again. As he tries to set up his block here. I think if Liko's going to block here, guys, if he's going to end up taking the damage, he would likely just want to save his block for the second attack. Prevent the counters. If you're going to block 3, it might as well be the one that prevents any sort of extra effects. Or you get the 9 block, 3 cards out of the hand. And you go from there and prevent this Dawnblade from coming in a second time. Liko blocks 6 into reactions. Defense reactions is a flip flag. So Liko throws his gloves in front of it and leaves 1 card in hand again, but will block it all up and kind of stave off a very, very heavy attack here from Ali. So no counter, no second attack for Ali, no chance at a counter. And we move into Liko's turn, 1 card in hand, but his tunic does go up. If this is the blue or yellow pitch for 0, he could get 2 Kodachis coming in here. Could still represent 3 damage. He's considering yet again. Blue lunging press, so it's only going to be a Kodachi for 1. Or lunging press has a 0 cost. Excuse me. He's going to get both Kodachis here. Here's what I know of attack reactions. Lunging press, not exactly the most common card, but you are seeing it. I have seen it at the calling. A couple Prism decks have been playing him. Ali takes 1. Yep, so it is 0 cost. Excuse me. Ali's going to take 2. Nope, doesn't. Puts his courage in front. Liko passes the turn. Ali's going to go into his turn with 4 cards in hand. Iron Song Termination is a great way to start. Second Sharpened Steel now gone. So Determination to Sharpened Steel into the Dawnblade. 7 Dominate. 1 card in hand, 1 pitch floating. This could be incredibly scary. So Courage wasn't popped here. If Ali had popped the Courage, he could potentially have 2 floating and represent a route. Liko here, no blocks. Going into reactions. Ali's going to out for blood to increase it to 3. So up to 10. 10 total here now on this dominated Dawnblade. Liko, no reactions, has a huge hand, is what this tells me. Falls to 4. 11 to 4 as Ali takes the health advantage. The Australian going down under, as he is now 7 points under his opponent. But no longer. He's now only 4 points under his opponent as he sigils to gain 3 life. Tunic active here for Liko, so it does have a banked resource. Mask is still up as well. 3 cards to work with. So we strike the pitch, which means we're going to see Kodachi most likely. So here's the first one coming in. Ali's choice now. Takes 1, falls to 10. Kodachi here for 2. Ali considering responses here. Would like to block this one because of the mask. Initially looked at the Skullcap there, but Skullcap would only block for 1 because he's at higher life. And Liko's going to Crane Dance for 1. So no mask trigger here, as Ali optimally blocked the second attack. So just 1 coming at him. Ooh, Liko. Snapdragons. Give it a go again. So, Fine Center was after that, so getting the combo. So, unfortunately, it's blue, which is what it is, but Liko's trying to get the Zen token. So, critically here is Find Center can't be defended by cards with cost less than the number of chain links you control. Liko controls 4 chain links at the moment. So it will be physically impossible for Allie to block this. So a little Oracle's check on Zen token. So Allie is unable to block this, so we'll take the 2. Falls to 7. So 7 to 7. And a Zen State token here for Liko. So not a bad string of attacks. You wish kind of Find Center was a... I think sometimes you wish it's a red. But unfortunately it only comes in blue. It only comes in blue. That's the way it be sometimes, though. Can't have all of your cards being super money. It does pitch for Kodachis a lot of times, though, to be fair. So, even to Allie's turn. 3 cards in hand, I believe. No, excuse me, 4 cards in hand total. Warrior's Valor yellow. After a Courage there. So, 2 cards in hand, 2 floating. There's a pump up by 5. The Courage of Blade Hold there makes the Dawn Blade come in for free. So Allie is trying to represent a lot of damage here. Liko has the mask. I would like to see the mask get thrown out in front of them. The Zen State gonna block 1 damage. It's like a Spectral Shield, except it doesn't pop. Liko overblocking, blocks 8. So it's representing 9 total here. It's gonna bring the math very tough here for Allie, but Reprise is triggered, so we can get there. Was 2 floating. Has a route. So that'll be +3, and it'll send back a card to Liko's hand. Allie's now picking which card he wants to send back. It's tough, right? Because Liko is not going to be able to play that again, but it does load up his opponent's next hand, right? Gives him a chance to come in and attack. So it's now 8 to 5, plus this Sensei token, so 8 to 6. No reactions from Liko. No reactions from Allie. We're coming in 8. Liko will take 2. So, Liko falls to 5. Allie a 7. Dawnblade coming in yet again. Comes in for free thanks to the Courage. So, only 3 here. No other effects. Allie's looking for the counter. Remember, that card that got routed back could come back out here and block if Liko wants. I think you have to. I think you have to... well, actually, no, excuse me. There is no way with no floating. It's impossible for Allie to make the pump here if Liko does not trigger Reprise. So Liko's going to take 3 regardless. The only way... Or, excuse me, 2. The only way Allie can get some damage in here is if Liko triggers... Well, the only other options Liko has is Allie has is a potential red Iron Song response. Liko throws the Tunic in front of it, so blocking 2, which means Liko will take 1. So, take 1. All right, so Zensei blocked 1, Tunic blocked 1. Dalma's only coming in for 3, so Liko only took 1 life there. 7 to 4 going into Liko's turn with 3 cards in hand, and one of them we know is a red Soul Bead Strike. Zensei does stay around for 2 turns. Counter came off there. And Liko is going to come out with a Kodachi for 1. So 3 cards. We know one of those is a red Soul Bead Strike. We'll see if Allie remembers that as he plans around his defenses here. He is Skullcap, still only blocks for 1. And Allie is going to want to try to go into his turn with at least 2 cards to either pump up the Dawnblade. He needs 1 to pitch for the Dawnblade, and either wants to pump it up prior to or threaten an attack reaction. So 2 cards is the money zone there for Allie. 1 card in Arsenal there. Allie's asking Razor's Reflex. There should be 1 in the graveyard here for Liko, and we know 1 is on the Actually, no. Excuse me. That was the last game. Both Razor Reflex are in the grave right there for Liko. Yeah, last game we saw a Razor Reflex get pitched, but this game, they're both already in the graveyard. Liko had played his first Razor Reflex on an earlier turn and blocked with another one later on. So, Kadashi coming in for 2, as Ali falls to 6. No blocks on the first one. Ali's still considering. If he can get through this turn keeping a full grip, he likely will win the game. But Liko's going to threaten. Remember, he still has that red Sobi strike that we know of. Ali blocks Skullcap and Bracers. Does not want to let... Well, the mask is already gone, but still wants to block this one up. So Liko, considering what his next one is he going to come out with his red Soul Bead right now, or is he going to wait? Do you have another action? The red Soul Bead. This is the one Ali had routed back to Liko's hands for 4. If it hits go again, if Ali wants to prevent this, it will require 2 cards out of the hand. I would have liked to have seen Ali not block with his equipment there and save it for the Soul Bead strike that he knew was coming, and just use his health as a resource. So 1 floating here for Liko. 1 card in hand. This also does not have combo, so he can't pop his gloves to give it a +1 and sure and hit. But Ali here, super incentivized to block 2 cards, to block this. 2 cards out of the hands. Go to his turn with 3 cards total, 2 in hand, 1 in arsenal. But he's considering. No blocks here. Ali takes 4. Into Liko, what does he have? Pounding Gale for 5. Now that will definitely require a response because Ali is now at 2. So 1 card out of the hand will not block it unless it's a defense reaction. We'll need 2. Actually, Skullcap now active. I stand corrected. He's blocking 4. And Liko attack reactions, breaking skills. To put it up to 6 over 4. Trying to threaten lethal. I think Ali missed it. This card does have combo. Pounding Gale does. Combos with open center. It's just a little talk on the Pounding Gale card itself. So. A bit of Oracle check here for Ali. Still Ali, kind of. So still, Ali's still considering. A little bit of banter on the combo of Pounding Gale. It's not in a combo, unfortunately. That would be pretty good there for Liko, but Ali, I think, may have underblocked it and missed it. That's what it looks like, yeah. So Liko snuck one in there with the breaking skills, broke the defense there from our Canadian. Ali gave it a good shot. He gave it a good effort, but then just forgot. You know, breaking skill sits there for so long after it defends. You don't think about it. So Ali there tried to short block it, and Liko had enough to give it +1 because Pounding Gale was a combo, and that will end it out here for round number 3. We'll come at you guys shortly for rounds number 4. So don't go anywhere. We're halfway there. 3 more rounds still coming at you, and a prize giveaway. So still a good spicy bit of the day left, and we'll come at you pretty quick. Hey everyone, and welcome to Uncharted Realms, the Sunday event. I'm Brent, alongside streamer to be named in the production studio. Excited to bring you Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz event, round number 4. 4 out of 6 here. Just hit our halfway point as we got Aaron, another player down there out of Australia, and Marcin, a Barry to throw it down Ninja v Ninja style. But before we get into that, Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz event. Out of the Box Gaming is a store local to Thomasville, North Carolina. They have in-store play and a marketplace for trading card singles. So if you need a pre-release to play in and you're in North Carolina, check them out in person. Or if you need some more decks, if you need some more cards, you need a bigger collection, check out Out of the Box Gaming at outoftheboxgaming.com to pick up those cards you need, especially with the new stuff coming out. So keep that in mind if you're trying to update from the calling lists or you just want to brew up something new with the new set. It's Out of the Box Gaming at outoftheboxgaming.com. Now back into our gameplay here. Aaron was our turn 1 player. Martian will be our tempo player. And so we just see Kadachi, Soul Bead Strike. Martian, no blocks on the Soul Bead. Double block the Kadachis. And then Aaron has a reaction there with the Razors. Martian wants to take 4 off of that damage. And no more reactions after the sync. So Martian will take 3. And Aaron. Ooh, actually, Aaron's still going here. This is turn 1. He's still going. Breaks his hardened cross traps. Flying kick for 7. Wow, very nice turn 1. Gets a lot of damage. Now, Martian will likely block this one. I think Aaron may have been more incentivized to Arsenal this and pass, but Aaron gets 3 more damage in. Or excuse me, 4 more damage in. Hold on a second. Says 20 to 15, but that should be 7 over 3 is 4. Well, let's find out. All right, so that one's on me. The chain broke because of the cross straps, which I realized right as I went to ask. So, my bad there. So that fly kick only came in for 5, not 7. So 20 to 15s are the life totals as Martian goes into our tempo player. Tempo turn here. Aaron is down his chest piece equipment, but he gained 5 damage for it on his turn number 1. So a little bit of a trade-off there. Not too shabby. So Martian coming in now. Kadachi. Aaron down to 18. He used his gloves to block at least one of them. Then Martian sigils and passes. So not a very spicy turn here for our tempo guy. But he did equal the life total out. So Martian may be in more of a defensive Ira look. Well, Aaron definitely looking to push the point. Get some damage in. On the Razor's Edge. Or the Reflex. So Exude Confidence for 4 is our start here. We'll likely see Aaron give this go again with his Snapdragon Scalers. Martian blocks for 1, so no defense reactions here. Aaron here will likely pop the Snapdragons. No reactions, actually. And 1 second. Gotta stop that. All right there. So a little bit of a clarification on Exude Confidence here. Martian is not going to be able to play his Flick Flack against it. And so we'll go back to the blocks. So Aaron, going to be nice there. Allow him to go back to the blocks. Technically earned his Exude Confidence. So blocks 4. Aaron going to give it go again. Command and Conquer for 7. No more defense reactions. Aaron just said no defense reactions at all this turn, pretty much. Oh, man. Exude into command. Woo! Holy smokes. What a turn, especially now that we know Martian does have defense reactions in hand. He is more of a defensive Ira. So Martian will take 7 and lose the card in his arsenal slot. Martian falls to 11. And loses a Razor's Reflex out of the Arsenal zone. Aaron will pass it back there on that. Not too shabby. We're going into Martian's turn, though. 2 counters on the Tunic. but 3 cards in hand. Got a little 1, 2, 3 setup. 1 there on his gloves, 2 on his tunic, 3 cards in hand. And speaking of 1 on the Kodachi here. As there's 2 in the pitch. Now second Kodachi, this time for 2. Aaron blocks with a flick flag for 3. Turning off the mask. So Marson will still at least have a chance to come with some more follow-ups. Here's a push the point. So the last one didn't hit, so this was only going to be for 4. Will not get its +2 effect. Fine centers the block for 5, thanks to the flick flack effect. To give it +2 because it is a combo card. So Aaron, nice blocks there. Able to navigate his way very defensively through that turn. Go back into his turn with 2 cards in hand. And lunging presses the push there on the Kodachi for 1. No blocks there from Marson. As Aaron, the second Command and Conquer. Please, Aaron, please, the money card against this defensive ninja. And Aaron just holding nothing back here. Oh, man. We're seeing some crazy Ira gameplay. We saw Ira v Warrior twice. That went 50-50. Now we're seeing Ira v Ira. So I know who you got. I know it's going to be Ira. If you had to pick a player, I guess you could. I think the Australian's looking to come out on top for this one. But Marson is going to throw 3 in front of it. He likes that card in Arsenal. Blocks for 9. Marson also there choosing to block with a card from his hand instead of potentially the mask, which he could have also used to block there. So Marson takes the tunic up, 3 counters now, and then will pass the turn, opting to keep the card in his hand and in the Arsenal zone. So interesting choice there. Doesn't want to push a damage there from the Kodachis, and making a dedicated gameplay decision. So I'll have to keep an eye on Marson's hand and what he's got. It could be full of defense reactions, or could just be 1 cost there, and he couldn't give the Kodachis go again. So Aaron, complete tempo control now. Starts in with another Kodachi. First one hits, second one gets blocked with a flick flag. Aaron might be considering Razor reflexing this. He is. That's the second Razors. Ooh, going up to 5 on this one. Back into reactions here from Marson. Marson is incentivized to prevent this from hitting. So that way a mask is not a threat here from Aaron. So 5/3 as it stands. Marson, considering another reaction, does. Throws a flick flack on there. 3 cards still in hand from Marson. One of those defense reactions came out of the Arsenal zone. So Aaron sigils, has nothing to follow it up with. So sigil, gain 3, back up to 20. It's like he didn't take anything this game. And now he is over half of his opponent's life total. 20-9, sitting very happy about that. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Marson, though, going to try to come. Oh, my God. The second just sigil back to back. Chill, Aaron. Marson here, though, he's going to try to fight back. He's going to claw back in, at least attempt to. So, second sigil coming in. First one wasn't blocked. Second one is blocked. This is 2/2. Marson, no attack reactions there. So, Torn to Tempo for 5 is the next one. Mask is not available here for him. That second one was blocked. Torn to Tempo, if it hits, it'll give Marson go again. He'll be able to potentially come out with another card in his hand if it's a 0 cost there. Red flick flack from hands. It means Aaron takes 1, and this does get go again. Marson not able to use it, so he will Arsenal card and pass. So 3 counters still on the tunic there. He did have the banked energy if he had wanted to fire away with a 1 cost attack action, but opting not to. We're not having it. So Kodachi for 1. Aaron back into the chip away game. Just made this super explosive. You would think that the Ira v Ira is going to be a very long, drawn-out game most often. But Aaron, he's trying to make that not happen here. He's trying to go quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I would expect it to slow down here in a couple rounds. So Kodachi for 2. Ooh, he didn't take that one, so it's 9 still. There we go. Double flick flacks out on both these Kodachis. And Marson will go back into his turn. As Aaron passes it away, keeps that one there in the arsenal zone. Maybe a defense reaction here. This might be that slowdown we were considering. So, Kadashi for 1. Marson says, finally, I chip you down. So, Aaron, back to his starting life total after all of these turns. And so, Marson comes in for the second Kadashi, gets blocked. The leg tap also gets blocked with a sink. So, flick, flack, and sink. Marson will just arsenal and pass. So, yeah, here's that defensive Ira now. Woo! Aaron, though, great showings here off the first couple of turns, but Marson doing a good job at least threatening some back. Remember, he has done a fair amount of damage. Aaron gained 6 life this turn, or this game. So if we take away that 6, it would be 14-9. It's possible we'll see Marson find his own sigils. So Kadashi, start, down to 8. Goes Marson. Kadashi for 2. Mask is still available for both players. So Marson definitely doesn't want this one to hit. There's a flying kick in front of it. Doesn't think he's going to get enough chain links to make use of it. Tempo for 5. If it hits, go again. Yeah, it's a torrent of cards coming in Marson's way. Oh. But Marson going to sink below, so it's over 4. 5 over 4 at the moment. 1's going to come through. That will give this go again, though. Aaron is able to use it. Rising knee thrust for 1. Not the super spiciest of attacks, but hey, 1 damage is 1 damage, and it gets through. So Marson falls to 6, 20-6. If you're just tuning in here, you think this was a complete rout, but I promise you, there's no warrior playing right now. This is Ninja v Ninja. Aaron has just had super spicy turn 1, turn 2 hands, and that was kind of set the pace of the game. Marson, though, 3 cards in hand to start his turn. 3 counters on the tunic. Has a banged energy. And we'll start his chip away again. So, his own Command and Conquer this time. 7 coming at Aaron. If Aaron's looking at a handful of defense reactions, this is not going to be good for him. We could see Aaron fall to 12 after this. Aaron wants to keep his life total high. Blocks 3. Marson wanted to give that go again, but could not. It is not a 1 or less cost attack, which is a requirement of Snapdragons there. So Marson will just arsenal and pass his turn. Aaron, gonna start the chips. This is a pretty rough scenario here for Marson. Definitely, he has 9 health he has to make up here. He's gonna have to navigate this this game very carefully here. A little bit of a differing choice in equipment is kind of what allowed Aaron to do this. He runs the cross straps instead of the tunic critically there. So that's the biggest difference here between our players. And so far, it's proven to be great effect. Marson's had the banged energy on that tunic for a couple turns now and has been unable to use it. So, life total update. Aaron at 15, Marson at 5. Second attack was blocked, but now we got another crane dance coming in here for 1. And not the spiciest of attacks, but still the chip away is on the table. Aaron, Arsenal and passes, is consistently going into his turn with 2 to 3 cards. And looking pretty decent. Marson, speaking of cards, has 3 available. 1 in Arsenal, though. 2 in hand. And all of his equipment still up. So, it is still very possible for Marson to take tempo control back into this game. As Aaron falls to 14 off the first Kadashi. And Marson might have another... Ooh, Pounding Gale for 6. Are we going to see the combo here? Pounding Gale for 6. Doesn't have go again at the moment. No attack, no defense there declared from Aaron. Reactions on the table here from Marson. Nothing yet. Yellow flick flack for 3. Aaron wants to take 3. Marson reacts, give it go again. And +1. So Aaron takes 4. This could be the turn Marson was looking for. 5 to 10. And Marson has go again here with the card in hand. Is it the combo? Oh, Nourishing for 6. Not going to have dominate here, unfortunately, and not going to raise his intellect. But Marcin making use of the counters on the tunic eventually, or finally, using that banked resource. Coming in with just another straight 6 attack. Aaron, first player to give up his mask. First ninja gone. Block with the headpiece. Puts his face in front of this. And says, no, you will not emptiness me. I like my nourishments. That's rough too. Sue me. I'm here all week. Anyways, Aaron, back into his turn. Pitches to find center. More Kadachi chipaways. Marcin falls to 4. It's getting very spicy here. You know Aaron doesn't have any Razor's Reflex left. So Marcin can't take that in consideration. Kadachi for 2. And Marcin specifically asking for Razor's Reflex here. It is going to be 2 is going to be the number that we find. Yep, 2 is the answer. So Marcin blocks the second Kadachi with the blue flick flag. So that'll be for 2. Marcin, 3 cards still in hand. Pounding out for 5. If it hits, go again. Aaron, no resources floating though. But 1 card still in hand. Marcin blocks for 5. Thanks to Flick Flack. Look at that. Love that ability there for Ninja. You got... Ooh, Ninja gets it easy sometimes on the blocks. Oh, 1 card from hand, block 5? Yeah. Oh, it didn't cost me anything? Yeah. Sometimes it's just good. Oh, boy. So, back into Marcin's turn. 2 cards to work with. No banked resources on the tunic. But does start to chip away. So, here's that long drawn out game that we were expecting, and we'll see if Aaron's turn 1 and 2 is enough to keep him with the advantage in this game, if it's gonna be enough to take it. It was very spicy, it was very effective, but will it be enough to prevent the grind out here? Aaron has a well-timed sink below here to prevent a soul bead. Oh, is this a crane dance? It is a crane dance, excuse me. Choosing the sink. So refreshes out the card in his hand. I almost called that a soul beat strike for a second. I was like, nope, that's not right. Crane dance. So Aaron, into his turn, 2 cards in hand, 1 card in arsenal. Or 3 cards in his hand, excuse me. I can't math. I can't count. I failed kindergarten. So, man, sometimes it'd be that way. Aaron, Kadachi for 1. Kadachi for 2. First one hit. No mask here. So Marcin can afford to take this if he wants to fall to 1. But he will be very in trouble on his remaining turns. Every Kadachi attack would be lethal. With Aaron still sitting at 7, Marcin's going to need a very spicy hand here if he wants to even this out. Otherwise, he's going to get tempoed out of the game. So 1 resource floating here for Aaron. 2 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal means that this is likely to end the game, or potentially to end the game here on this turn. Does also have his breaking scales there if he wants to come over the top with the combo card, as we saw in the last round there from Liko over our Canadian warrior. Marcin blocks it for 3. I like that. Take up the soak up the 2s. That way you can use your life total to allow the Kadachi for 1s to come in. Save you a couple cards. But Soul Beat Strike for 4. If it hits, gains go again. Marcin does not want this to hit. Still has his mask, so we may see 1 card out of the hand and the mask. Or 1 card from hand and the tunic. That's actually probably a better block. Marcin's considering. Mathing it out himself. Yep. Puts a tunic in front of it. And the crane dance. So there we go. Blocking 4. So Aaron did not get go again there. So he will have to pass there, leaving 1 card stuck in his hand. And that card's still in arsenal. But not much he could do there with that sequence of cards. Marcin now still has a chance in this game. Ooh, Sigil there, +6. Remember, Aaron gained 6 life himself in this game. So if you take away Aaron's 6 life, he would be at 1. If you take away Marcin's life gain, he would be at 3. So Marcin would theoretically be winning in this game. But right now he's sitting 1 point behind. Marcin does still have a Sigil left in his deck, which is getting rather low. Both players' decks rather low. Fatigue is a very real possibility here. And Martian may come out on top, though, with that sigil coming up. You'd have to think he's likely got it in hand, unless he only runs one of them. Kodachi for one. Martian takes it. This is where it's important to keep cards. Where you can, use that health. Where you can, use your equipment where you can. I like to see Martian throw the mask in front of this. That's exactly what he does. Throws the mask. That keeps cards in hand for Martian. Allows him to just threaten back on the turn and rip the tempo back, potentially. Aaron needs a huge attack here to force a couple cards out of hand here for Martian, or otherwise Aaron may find himself on the receiving end of the pressure he's been putting on for the rest of the game. So Pounding Gale for 5 out of Arsenal. This does not have go again. Aaron, 2 cards still in hand. 3 cards actually in hand. No Razor's Reflex. None floating. Unless he plays yellows, which I don't know. I doubt it. Martian now considering. This will require 2 cards if he doesn't want this to hit, but he could just throw 1 out there and take the damage. So Martian showing that he has more than just 2 from what the initial appearance was. But the decks are still getting very low on both sides. Look how big that graveyard looks. Oh boy. So coming in for 5, Martian at least is going to have to spend 1 card for this. Because it is a lethal attack. No equipment left there. As you can see, it's rather bare. Blocks 3. Aaron wants to give it +1. This might be the last time he gets a chance to attack with the combo card. So I like it. Send Martian down to 2. Now Aaron, 2 cards this time stuck in hand. Last time it was 1. So not quite getting the sequencing he needs to close out this game. Giving Martian a great chance back into this. 3 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal. He could easily, Martian could easily force 3 or more cards out of hand here from Aaron and take control of this game and close it out in later turns. So we're going to see Martian. I have high expectations here for you. Needs to string together. I believe he has a second Command and Conquer still waiting around. We know he plays Nourishing Emptinesses, so could also have another attack for 6. So I'd like to see Kodachi repping 3 damage, and then come in with another couple of attacks, like a leg tap into a Command and Conquer, or a leg tap into a Nourishing. Command and Conquer would be actually the money card there. Leg tap into Command and Conquer would be absolutely insane. But remember, we're on the bottom of the deck, so the pitch is cycling back around. We're likely to see blue attacks more often than not here for the rest of the game from both of our ninja players. Martian now considering. There's a lot of decisions. The fact that he's keeping the 2 there means that he might have that Command and Conquer we're talking about. Aaron blocks with a Nourishing Emptiness himself. So just a basic 2 for 6 at this moment. Ooh, E-Strike out of Arsenal for 5. Go again here for Martian. This is huge turn. This is exactly what he needed. Woo! Now Aaron hopefully has some defense reaction here. Doesn't block 6. An E-Strike of his own. And a Torrent Temple for 5. Aaron does not need to block this. He could keep this card in hand, but knows blocks 3 and takes 2. I don't think that's what you want to do. You need to be able to provide pressure back. So Martian now has complete tempo control, and he might be able to close it out from there, barring any fatigue or a rollout from saying, oh, Exude Confidence for 4. Oh my Lanta. Well, if you're going to have a 0-cost card, that's probably the best one. It can't be blocked with defense reactions at the moment until Martian puts a card with greater power against it, or equal to power against it. No cards here for Aaron. I hope Martian's not just staring at 4 defense reactions. That would be a way to end the game. Oh my god. Wow. So Aaron can't pump this, unfortunately. That would just be too easy here. I would have liked to have seen Aaron maybe keep some stuff around, but Martian blocks 6. So deck check there. 3 cards left for Martian. Aaron is going to draw up and pass. His deck getting rather low as well. Remember, though, at the end, Marcin's going to be pitching for Kodachis, so those cards will cycle back around. He was looking at least one defense reaction there. Aaron wants a Razor's check. I believe should be one, but I could be corrected. Yep, just one. I don't know if Marcin plays extra ones. We're definitely already through the deck, so if Aaron been keeping an eye on the pitch zone, Aaron doesn't want to die, so blocks one card there. He does still have life total to work with, but he can safely block this one and have no threat of razors on the next attack. There's only one card left in hand there for Marcin. Oh, Aaron blocks 5. Razors would not have killed him. Would definitely not have killed him. He could have just let that go. Oh boy, I would have loved to have seen him keep that card in hand. So sometimes you see people overblock it, but in this scenario here, Aaron is physically impossible to die with a 3 block there. He would have only taken 2, go to 2 with the Razors +3 effect. So Aaron there, kind of gifting his opponent some cards. Marcin's now considering what he wants to do with the last card. If this is an attack, for 5, like a Pounding Gale or whatnot, this would be very, very detrimental to Aaron, because he would have to use that last card out of his hand because he overblocked the other 2. So if Marcin gets any chip damage in here, he comes out super on top, but not able to. He's not arsenaling that card, so it's likely a blue pitch. So Marcin now considering what he wants to do. Actually, so said he didn't want to arsenal it, but maybe wants to go back and arsenal it. So Aaron. Nah, there we go. There we pass. So 1 card left there. Marcin had passed his turn, and they moved on. So little questions there. Kodachi for 1. Marcin, no blocks there. Kodachi for 2. This will require a response here now from Marcin. Sitting 5 cards total left in the deck. Yeah, sorry about that. There was a little bit of questions from both of our players. And Marcin blocks with the Rising Knee. So 3 cards left in hand here from Marcin. 4 cards total to work with. Aaron getting thin himself. I believe it's like 6 or 7. As Marcin comes in with the Kodachi for 1. Aaron has Marcin pegs for a Razor's Reflex, but I don't believe that there are any left in Marcin's deck. I think he only plays 1. So Kodachi for 2. Aaron here still has Marcin on Razor's Reflex. Would still not need to put 2 cards in front of this to block it, but I believe Marcin may have outthought him. So Aaron's still considering about it. Again, if he has Marcin on Razor's Reflex, it would not matter with 1 card. Now he figures that out. 1 card, just 3 this time. I think he realized his mistake in the previous round. 2 cards hand there for Aaron. Marcin's not considering what he wants to do. I believe he definitely does not have a Razor's Reflex. Marcin there could have won the game if Aaron, let's say if he had an E-Strike available himself. But Sobi Strike coming in for 2. So with the blue one. And now there is 1 floating. So Aaron can still survive with just 1 card out of the hand. Marcin's trying to convince him that he doesn't have it. But that may indicate that he does. What do you think over there? He said there's a slight chance I only play one. I'm thinking so. I don't believe I saw a Razor's Reflex in the pitch. Aaron, he's down to 5 cards total himself to work with. So these guys have a little bit, for those wondering when the time's going to end, these guys have a small extension because it took a minute. They have about 5 extra minutes to work with because it took a second to set it up. There were some Discord problems. Aaron overblocking with 2 cards, all the cards out of his hand. And actually, Marcin has complete tempo control of this game. And so Marcin arsenals that card and draws the remaining 2. I think he probably should not arsenal that. You get more options for not putting it there. You can at least block with it. So maybe a small mistake there from Marcin. Aaron, 3 cards to himself. I think Aaron may have overthought himself to a tempo loss here. Kodachi for 1. If Aaron still has Marcin on Razor's Reflexes, he guaranteed to lose this game. Because he's going to have to block and then double block. And that's all of the 3 cards he has left. Marcin blocks 3. Aaron is going to have to just take some of this damage at some point. Should have probably taken it earlier. Aaron blocks 3. 1 card left in hand. If Marcin comes in with an attack for 4 or greater, Aaron will die. So find center for 2. Aaron, if he wants any chance of this game, is going to have to let this hit, but I think he overthought himself there. I am positive that that's not a Razor. It doesn't matter if Aaron still thinks it's a Razor, but it doesn't matter if it's a Razor's at this point. Aaron, no blocks. Takes the 2. No reactions there from Marcin. Does he have it? Oh, he did. He did. should have forced Marcin to fire it off earlier. But Marcin did have it. He slow rolled it the whole time and gets in there over the top. So Marcin takes it in there in round number 4, our halfway game. We'll come back at you guys for round number 5 pretty quick. So we'll catch you guys later on the next one. Hey everyone, and welcome to Uncharted Realms' Sunday event. We're in round 5 of 6 of Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz. Out of the Box Gaming is a store local to Thomasville, North Carolina, and they specialize in in-store play and a marketplace for trading card singles. So those of you watching the calling or watching this back after attending the calling, if you want to update that deck, drive on over to Out of the Box Gaming in person or check out Out of the Box Gaming at outoftheboxgaming.com. And don't be on the other side of the wrong side of the 5 and 2 cut. Out of the 64 players, I know a lot of you were. Out of the Box Gaming can help make sure that you go 6 and 1 on day 1 and make it to day 2. So check out Out of the Box Gaming in person or at outoftheboxgaming.com and get the spice in your life. So Lico and Marcin are going to be our round 5 players here. Marcin just won against our previous Australian, so Lico is coming for some revenge. Ira v. Ira. So got another grindy, long match I think coming at you fellas. So who do you have though? Let's go there. We'll start there and we'll walk on. We got a long time to talk with each other. I hope everybody's enjoying the coverage for the day. If you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe button, and then come out into the Discord and come play in some events. We'd love to have you. We'd love to see you here and have a good time. So Ira v. Ira, as we're setting up here, we'll see if Lico goes with the same option. Yep, same option here with the spring tunic. Aaron's cross straps in the last round did not come out into success. I think there's maybe a couple chances there for Aaron to have gained back a little bit of tempo at the end of the game there, but alas was not able to, and Marcin slow rolled that Razor's Reflex for so long and figured out the game and got there with no cards left in his deck. But this is not like Magic. As long as you have cards to play, you can still keep going. Doesn't matter that your deck's empty. So to start things off here, we have Martian as our turn 1 player, Liko as our tempo player. I'm gonna vote for the Australian on this one. Sorry, Martian, you did win the last one, but I think we're gonna get a little bit of revenge. There was a lot of talk of like the deadly Australian stuff. So, you know, those are some hardened people down under, avoiding spiders and whatnot. Aaron was saying something about having to fight a funnel web spider the other day. He went straight hands. He came out on top, though. Shows how nitty and gritty he was. And actually, Martian beat that. So keep that in mind. Martian's a tough player, too. So Martian's starting things up. That was a red pitch, though. Just needed to get the 0 cost in there. So Kadachi for 1. No reactions. And no defenses. Means Martian gets first blood and Liko goes to 19. Nourishing Emptiness is the next one. Wow, Martian had a full hand of reds. I'm not surprised about this. That could have been a way spicier turn if just one of those were blue. He could have kept the Chane open and still get that Nourishing Emptiness at the end after chipping a lot of damage. But here, this one's for 7. Does have Dominate and +1 Intellect until the end of the turn. We may see Liko have to throw his mask in front of this. Ooh. We might see both the gloves and the mask go in front of this to avoid Martian drawing up to 5 at the end of this turn. You definitely don't want your opponent doing that. Nourishing Emptiness, though, you see it mainly in the Dawnblade Dorinthea and the Kano decks because they do not play any other attack reactions or attack actions. Excuse me. Dawnblade Dorinthea definitely plays a lot of attack reactions. Liko now considering this is a tough block. If he's got a red Flick Flack, the mask and the gauntlets can prevent this. Liko, though, no blocks, goes to reactions. Wants to sink to block up 4 of it. Opting to, it appears, not sink a card, but he may. And takes the 3, meaning Martian falls, means Martian sends Liko down to 16 and draws up to 5 cards. It's working. So low reports that we might be muted. Can you hear me? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. But I think on my screen we're live. On my screen the sound's coming across, so hopefully not. I could be wrong. Who knows? Oh, yeah, no, it was just, as they say, bitches be crazy. Oh. So, anyways, when she hears that, she might not be happy about it, but hey, you know what? Such is life. Anyway, it's back into the action. Liko, she just saw it. Liko's turn here. Martin's got a grip of 5. Nothing in Arsenal, though. But we'll have a lot of cards to work with. Kadachi for 1, no blocks. Kadachi for 2. Appears to be the second play here. Maybe, maybe not. Sounds like Liko and Martian both had awkward starting hands. Here's Kadachi for 2. It's official now. It's coming across. It's Adam. Martian's considering. Push the point is the block, so he will block it for 2. E-Strike is the follow-up here for Liko. This one's coming in for 7. We'll have to bottom a card. There we go. Yep. Getting there. He was really thinking about that turn. So Liko, E-Strike for 7. No cards in hand. Does have the 1 floating, but nothing else he can do with it, even if he gives this E-Strike go again. Martian, no blocks, but has a Flick Flack for 4. That was a nice onomatopoeia there. That's Martian. Falls 16 to 16. Equal life total here as we go back to our turn 1 player. Tunic's now at 2. As Kadachi comes in for 1. No blocks from Liko. Not too surprising there. You guys better buckle up. We're in for a long and maybe running into time on this game again. The last one finished up just beforehand. So Kadachi for 2, no blocks, no reactions. Actually, there we go. There was a reaction there. Liko blocks it for 3. Wants to prevent the mask. Mask draws can make or break this matchup. Torn a tempo for 5, blocks for 5 thanks to Flick Flack's awesome ability. Ninjas, they just get fucking everything. Oh, excuse the language. There goes that YouTube video. So, Marcin draws back up, gets an Arsenal card. Liko, his tunic's now matching at 2. And their life total is now matching at 15 after the first Kadachi hit. Second Kadachi this time. Marcin's considering. Yeah, Atticus, we like to see you. What happened? No go on your match, I guess, or did you already win? Oh, that'd be pretty spicy. If you're waiting on an opponent, you give them 10 minutes, and they don't show up in that 10 minutes, you got it. Just a no-show by the looks of it. I think we probably have messaged them around. All right, so anyways, back onto the action here. So we had Kadachi get blocked in a Torn of Tempo. Come in, hit for 5. Liko had nothing else to do with it there. And so it is going to be 15-10. Liko has the advantage. It's Adam. Yeah, I know it's Adam. I'm aware. You think I don't know the people that come and talk and... Come on, Adam. I'm just messing. We're going to miss you on your... when you go to play in your Nationals event. But I assume you'll come back on a couple other ones. Adam there, for those that don't know or watching this back, is a... got his Nationals invite in the UK. So he'll be trying to be one of the UK top players. So, action here. Liko and Marcin. Kadachi. Liko falls to 12. Torn of Tempo. A little bit of a repeat. Another one for 5 here. Liko has still cards in hand he can use to block this. Can't avoid this. Marcin, though, does have a card in hand he can pitch resources and a card in arsenal. So I don't think Liko wants this to hit. It looks like he's throwing, or he's going to throw 2 cards in front of it. Dude, I hear you. Come in with the spice. That's what the whole idea of the randomized prizes is. We want new players and just the straight spicy juice. Benji. Ooh, you may have a couple favorites or a couple okays on the Benji over here, but probably not for me. I was thinking Kano. That's my answer for everything. So, all right, back into this. So, Liko blocks it for 8. Throwing the mask on top of it. So we see our first mask gone for the game. Marcin follows up with a sigil. Goes back up to 13. And then now Liko is the man down under and under the life total. No. You spelled Kano wrong. It's with an N. Get that barbarian brute crap out of here. I'm just messing. It'd be awesome. I'd love to see it. Bring it in, spice it up, have some good freaking times, which is some fun decks. And, maybe you see something that is really undervalued, people aren't expecting, comes in for some craziness. So, Kadachi, 12 was the life totals again. Second one's blocked up, so Liko passes away. So, Marcin, a little bit of a tempo advantage in this game. As we go into his turn with 3 cards in hand, 3 counters on the tunic, and a card in arsenal. Marcin, Kadachi for 1. No surprise here. We're in the chip scenario. As I hope you're buckled in. I mean, now it's time to go get some snacks if you need to. Prep up for the next game. Get ready for the prize giveaway after this one. As we're just going to see a lot of Kadachi back and forth. Till somebody decks out. Or somebody gets it just over the top. A little bit crazy here. So Liko takes 2 down to 9. Which means this mask is actually very active right here. E-strike for 7. If Marcin wants to fire off with another attack here on the draw, he will have to give this E-strike go again before he sees the card he draws. but he does have a card in Arsenal, he knows. And he does have one floating. And the Tunic. Liko here, though, not going to let it happen. Block 7. I'd love to see a Razor's Reflex here from Marcin. That will give this E-Strike go again, +3. And Marcin would draw a card. Alas, doesn't have it. Or at least doesn't want to fire it off there. That would have been too spicy. And that could have pretty much ensured him the game. But back into Liko's turn. 2 cards in hand. 1 card in Arsenal. 3 counters on the Tunic. And most likely a Kadachi. Liko's still considering. Who do you think has it at this stage? You think it's going to be Liko? You think it's going to be Marcin? Again, Marcin trying to just show his strength on Ira. Show who the real ninja is. Here's our first Kadachi. There's our second Kadachi. Threatening to even out the life totals as Marcin's now at 11. Marcin likely to use his health as a resource here. There's no mask available for Liko, so not something that has to be taken into effect anymore, at least for Marcin. Liko has to respect that mask later on. Kind of seems to me that Marcin doesn't really like the cards in his hand and is willing to get rid of some of it. Crane Dance to block it. Takes no damage, does Marcin. And Exude Confidence for 4 is the play here from Liko. So Exude Confidence has a nice continuous effect that if it is not defended by a card with equal or greater power, the defending hero can't play or activate instances or defense reactions in this combat chain. Big key there is the defense reaction. So no blocks there from Marcin. Liko gets it go again. Has a follow-up. Ooh, this could be a Nourishing Instance or Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer for 6. Look at that. Great spicy turn here from Liko. Use his Tunic resources to do it. It had banked that for a while. 5 of the top 8 are Chane, 2 Prism, 1 Dash. Well, that means we may see some response from LSS on the Chane. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're in the business of banning cards or banning strategies out just because they do well, but it definitely is showcasing its strength as a hero and deck. That is for sure. I'd love to see that Prism win. Big fan of the Prism. So still 6 coming at Marcin. He is at 7, so it's not necessarily lethal, but no defense reactions can be played. Liko just doesn't want to. So the Exude Confidence ability is also still active. Right there. So just a little clarification to our players that the Sigil isn't going to be cast on this turn because Exude Confidence is still active. We're just going to move it to Marcin's turn. So Liko says it's good. Effectively works out because Marcin doesn't die in this turn. The life total didn't matter. Keep him alive. So 7 to 6. 7 to 9. 7 to 9 is what it is. Sorry about that. Liko at 9. Marcin at 7. Yeah, it looks like he might go into Living Legends pretty quick. It is actually possible to Living Legend a hero out in a skirmish season. All things considered. Keep that in mind. So, Marcin coming in with a Kadachi. Liko, no blocks. Falls to 8. Kadachi for 2. So, big spicy hands from Liko the last time. Marcin, though, still gets to work with 3. And still has a Tunic. Yet to use the counters. Liko here, not going to block the 2. Ooh, this must be a very spicy hand here. From Liko, he wants to try to close it out early. He doesn't want to move into just grind. So, life for 4 is the follow-up here. It will not have go again. Because Liko's at 6, Marcin's at 7. But if it does hit, Marcin could crucially gain a very valuable life point. Liko, no more counters on the Tunics. Very incentivized to get rid of it. Prevent this life. So Marcin did not gain the life. Sits at 7. And Liko going his turn at 6. Yeah, does not want one card to be able to equal the Kadachi there, which is what the life for life would have done. So Fluster Fliss for 1. On Lico's turn, 2 cards in hand to work with still after a blue in the pitch. 2 resources floating. Equal life totals, 6 to 6. Kadachi for 2. This really comes down to the tempo at the very end of the game. Got to value life totals here, and got to use health as a resource to keep cards in hand. You had to be able to threaten back lethal against your opponent, and that is what allows Ira to lock their opponent out of the game. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on which player gets to keep the cards. So Lico, though, doesn't want to get to that situation, pushes a Razor's Reflex up over it to force Marcin to take 3, fall to 3. Then Lico Exude Confidences for another 4. Oh my gosh. I love this. Back-to-back Exudes. And comboing with that Command and Conquer was pretty big here. You gotta love it. Exude Confidence definitely made my sideboard in Classic Constructed. It has some insane effects. Pretty much just, it forces Kano to fire away immediately once they see it. If you play Exude Confidence at the start, its ability is active for the entire combat chain. While the entire combat chain is open, Kano would not be able to do instants, and critically here, Marcin can't do defense reactions to it unless it is defended by a card with equal or greater power, which at 4 is fairly reasonable for the Ninja player to be able to get to. Exude Confidence is a pretty big crusher against Dorinthea and Kano specifically, but still just a good card in general. It's a 0 for 4. It's good rate. Can't get pumped. Has a crazy effect. So if you don't have this card in your sideboard, go to outoftheboxgaming.com, buy up a couple, get them in there. That's the way I would do it. Marcin blocks 3, wants to take 1, falls to 2. That means he can still take at least 1 more Kadachi and keep 1 more card in his hand, critically. He has a Tunic that can block for 1, and his life total that can also block for 1. So into Marcin's turn. He's trying to lock out his opponent here. E-Strike's a great way to start it. E-Strike in there for 7. Or excuse me, for 6. No, 7. Sorry. Woo. I was thinking the Ira pump up. And that would make it 8. But no, E-Strike for 7. Marcin could actually also give this go again if he has a 1-cost attack. Or potentially raise his reflex here. Actually, we may see Marcin take this right here. If Lico doesn't respect this, it's possible. That Tunic's been sitting there all juicy, just waiting. Oh, Sigil is actually... Oh, that's so good. Sigil for 9. I think I would have loved to have seen Lico wait on the Sigil in case there was a raise his reflex there in Arsenal. No blocks declared on the 7. Marcin, fire it away, baby. He's got it. Did Marcin just sweep this game out? Oh, no, he didn't. Yellow Flick Flack is going to counter the +3. So still looking at 7 is Lico. He'll fall to 2. Oh, man, that was intense. So the yellow Flick cancels out the red razor there. And Marcin did a great job chunking down life. But Lico, he's got 2 cards in hand. Marcin here, though, will be able to block. Will be able to take the first Kadachi if he wants to. And then on his next turn, block the first Kadachi with his Tunic. So Kadachi for 1's a start here for Lico. If he has a follow-up 1 damage attack in hand, he can pretty much lock his opponent out of the game. Marcin takes the 1. Lico. Kadachi for 2. Said 1, but it's, I guess, effectively the same. Technically 2, but he did say 1. Marcin blocks with a flying kick. 3 cards in hand. Needs a 5 power attack here. Soul Beat Strike or 4. Actually 4 or greater. 4 can still get blocked out by a defense reaction. But it will at least get 1 card. Hopefully 2 here from Lico or from Marcin. Martian does have the tunic he can throw in front of this, so it could be 1 card plus the tunic. Or it could be 1 card on a defense reaction, but it is guaranteed to at least be 1 card. It's going to be card plus tunic. So Liko chipping away. We'll be able to draw up here. Going to Martian's turn with 2 cards in hand. Liko will also be able to take 1 Kodachi here. So this is not out of the ballpark for either player. Kodachi for 1. So now, Liko's got to decide whether he respects a Razor's Reflex or not. He should probably get a count. I know I've seen 1 from Martian. I don't know if we saw the second one yet. Don't want to overthink it, though. Sometimes you just got to force your opponent to have it. Otherwise, you lock your own self out of the game. Liko says he wants to try something spicy. Ooh. Declares no blocks. It's going to take the 1. No reactions from Martian. Liko goes to 1. Now, every Kodachi across the game is lethal. Martian here, though. Flying kick for 6. Great attack there. Although it will still only require 2 cards out of hand here from Liko to stay alive on it. Effectively there, Liko blocks 3, gains 3. So he effectively blocks 6. And so 1-1 is our score here. Liko and Martian evened it out. I believe we've seen all the sigils now. But I have not been paying attention. I hate to say that on the sigils. I've forgotten. Sigils could make or break this matchup. Now Liko here just needs to go Kodachis. Blue pitch. If Liko has a red or has a 1 cost attack action for 4 or greater, he wins the game. Or no, he gets all the cards out of Martian's hand. Martian said, I gotta block this, and Liko wisely lets him know you do not have to. You could just lose. He could. Martian says he cannot afford to play around razors, which I agree with. If he does, he would just walk himself into an L. So we're going to see Liko go Kodachi most likely. And then hopefully has a 1 there. A 1 or less cost that is 4 or greater to get the other 2 cards out of Martian's hand. And then Liko will have locked Martian out of the game. Kodachi for 2. Martian is going to need a sigil. Who actually, Flick Flack is a way Martian can get out of this, because his next one is going to get pumped up by +2. So Liko's actually only coming in for an attack for 1. So it is only going to take 1 card regardless. Now that Flip Flack would have also made it 1 card. So Martian will at least have a chance to come in and get 2 cards out of Liko's turn. Or 2 cards out of Liko's hand on his turn. So we're going into a 2-card versus 2-card matchup here. Kodachi for 1. Kodachi for 2. We're going to see Liko with 2 blocks. And we'll go... So now it's just a decision here from our players on what they want to get rid of and what they potentially want to keep for later. Ooh, Liko throws away the E-Strike there. That's a 3-card card that requires response there from Liko. Or requires a response there from Martian. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up our players here. So interesting that he chose to give that away. But if he puts Martian on having defense reactions, Martian could get out of that with only 2 cards. So that might have been the reason why. Liko, though, would rather just keep the cards and go Kodachi. Keep the blues and go Kodachi. Who may also have that critical 1 costing attack for 4 more. So we'll see what 2 cards are better. Is it going to be Liko's 2 cards or Martian's 2 cards? One card left in hand for Liko. 1 energy floating. Very critical point in this game. Neither ninja player is locked out yet. but it's going to be very quickly we see. Oh, Razor's Reflex here from Liko. That will at least require a response, which is a sink below. So Martian is down to 1. 1 card in hand. So Liko right now has a small advantage, 2-1 on cards. As we go back into Liko's turn with 4 cards in hand. And we'll see 2 cards on the block here for Liko. If I remember correctly, I think Martian does still have a sigil left. I could be completely wrong on that. What is our time on the round here? 3 minutes there, fellas. So keep in mind here, we may see an Ira v Ira draw. Good. Good for them. Teach people not to play Ninja. I jest. We appreciate anybody who comes and plays, regardless of what deck you want to play with. As long as it's not Ira. Wait, what? No, wait, what? No, what? I jest again. So Liko, block 1, block 2. Still deciding which cards he likes to keep, which cards he wants to get rid of. Red Flick Flack is the block. Interesting. So, that ends Marcin's turn. We'll go back into Liko. The decks are still pretty healthy in size. Still, they're not dummy thick, but they still could be considered thick. At least for what you consider a Ninja v Ninja matchup. The talk is that if somebody has a sigil, they do. And it's here. So Liko likely will, again, just needs a 1-cost attack in hand. Or an attack for 7 on the second one. So could Kodachi get 1 card? And then a 7 attack on the second one gets 3 cards. Barring any defense reactions. Red Flick Flack Pounding Gale. Oh, Liko had a full hand of reds on that previous one. That was so rough. And Marcin gets to come back into this game. He went from 1 card. He's going to go back into his turn with 2. Oh, man. Liko can make this up to 6 on reactions if he wants. Marcin here, though, is going to have to block it by at least 6. There's no combination of defense reaction that gets him to 5. But if Sigil's the play, no reactions from Liko, obviously no cards in hand. Marcin, Flick Flacks, and Flick Flacks for 6 total. So Marcin gains himself a card due to Liko's unfortunate full red hands. Couldn't Kodachi in. Marcin now gets a chance to start ripping cards out. Could potentially get 3 out of Liko. So Kodachi is going to force 1. And then the second Kodachi will force the second one. And if that's a crucial 1-cost or 0-cost attack in Marcin's hand, it will pull out the 3rd card. Liko blocks the first one. Oh, command for 7. That still gets 3 cards. And if Liko's staring at defense reactions, he might just straight up lose. It is. GG. Flick Flack sink below. Marcin took this game back out of nowhere. Liko there, his last hand would have prevented that from Marcin. Marcin would have had to use the Command and Conquer to block with and not had it to attack. But Marcin survives through, and Liko's deck lets him down. And Marcin will not fall to an Australian. He says no, as Liko tried to get revenge. And that will wrap it up here for us in round number 5, just as they hit time. So good job there from both of our players. We got the prize giveaway coming at you. Remember, this Uncharted Realms brings you Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz event. Check out Out of the Box Gaming, outoftheboxgaming.com, and a prize giveaway coming at you right after this. Hello.
Trying to be. Oh,
hello.
I forgot to change the chat up. Well, that looks bad, but we'll rock it.
Oh, whoops.
Just ignore that that quality production over there. All right, so about to do the prize.
Professional.
randomization for today's event. We had 32 players. So we are going to roll the dice the same times we randomize the list, and then we'll randomize the list that many times. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice. I'm going to randomize it 7 times today. Throw this timestamp into the chat. And you're lucky.
Never lucky. All right, let's see.
Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lucky number 7.
Jeremy. Got it. That's a bow, baby.
And I'll go ahead and throw these in the announcements, along with what prizes you win, and I'll get round 6 paired up so we can finish this event out. Congrats, everybody.
Nice. Good stuff, guys. Hey, if you like guys having fun, hit that like and subscribe button here on the YouTubes while you're here. Let us know, drop a comment, be like, woo, or something. I don't know. Hit the like and subscribe button, though, and then we're going to see you guys back in for round number 6. Finish this darn thing out, and let's have some freaking fun. So, catch you guys shortly. Hey everyone, and welcome to Uncharted Realms' Sunday event. I'm Brent, alongside streamer to be named, sitting in the production studio, excited to wrap up coverage of Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz. This is round 6 of 6, as we got Marcin and Rangzaman sending it in here to close the day out for us. Both of them trying to take the tournament win. Out of the Box Gaming, though, is a store local to Thomasville, North Carolina. They specialize in in-store play and a marketplace for trading card singles. So if you're watching The Calling right now, top 8 going on, a lot of Chane players. If you really want to stoop to that level and put yourself together a Chane deck, by all means you can. Out of the Box Gaming, in person or at outoftheboxgaming.com, they can provide you the pieces you needed. They got carrion husks. They got shadow puppetries, and anything else you might need, they got for you and can get it your direction and help set you up. So check out Out of the Box Gaming in person or at outoftheboxgaming.com. All right, round 6 of 6 action here. Marcin Rangzaman, Ira v. Ira yet again. So boys, ladies and gentlemen, or whatever else you want to be in 2021, buckle in, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a wild, long match. I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it. It's still going to be some awesome action. But Ira v. Ira is usually a long, grindy matchup. We saw a lot of Ira today. Ira's been in at least 4 of 6 of our rounds. I'm trying to remember the other ones. We may have seen Ira all day, haven't we? I think just about. I can't remember that far back. I'll have to go rewatch it myself. Catch all the other videos here on the live stream or when the videos get posted up on the YouTubes. Check them out, watch them back. Enjoy the gameplay. So, right here we have Marcin drawing back up because he's going to be the tempo player. Rangzaman was the turn 1 player. You see his tunic at 1 and a card there in the arsenal. He's gracefully putting his cards out there so that his hand remains on camera, which is the LSS approved way of playing online Flesh and Blood. So Marcin starts out Kadachi. Flick Flack is the play out of arsenal there. And Torrent of Tempo for 5. Now Rangzaman will be able to block this with just 1 card. And that's exactly what he does. Blocks for 5 thanks to the Flick Flack ability, the +1. So which ninja you got? I guess I got to go with Marcin now. And I hope he doesn't let me down this time. I voted against him twice. I would think I'd be a fool to vote against him again. But our other Ira player here is going to make an attempt at proving me wrong for the entire day. So we'll find out. Kadachi into push the point. Thanks to that Kadachi hitting. So very money addition to Ira. It's more of a new addition, but it's absolutely It's absolutely fire because a lot of times nobody blocks the first Kodachi. So it gets in there for the +2. Then Iron's ability pumps it up for the +7. Also usually means that this hits. You can give it go again on the Snapdragons to continue on with your attack chain and then potentially trigger the mask there. So 4 there from Block as the Marson. And he's going to add Flick Flock Yellow. So for an additional 3. Covers up on the 7. So no chance at the mask here. And the block will be considered good. We'll move into the arsenal and pass the turn. So back into our other Ira turn. So we're just going to keep going Ira v Ira. Back into Ira's turn. And then into Ira's turn. And then after that, Ira's turn. So stay tuned for more Ira's turn. I think I'm going crazy. But you're not going crazy if you see Ira v Ira on your screen yet again. I promise this is not just a replay of previous rounds. This is round number 6. After we came away from an awesome prize giveaway. Marson goes Kodachi, Kodachi. Rangzaman takes the 2 from the second Kodachi. And Marson gains 3 life to go up to 22. Sigils. Absolute fire in this matchup. And then Marson will arsenal card and pass the turn. So, into Rangzaman's turn with 4 cards in hand, a card in arsenal, and, crucially, 3 counters there on the tunic. So, all of the resources he could ask for, all of his equipment still available as well. So, this could be a very explosive turn for our Ira player here on the bottom of your screen. E-Strike is going to be the start, most likely for 7. He has the ability to give it go again on the Snapdragons. That's exactly what it is, 7. 2 cards remaining in hand there. One of them he had to pitch. He had 3. One of them he had to put on the bottom. So 2 there. Marson blocks for 3. Wants to move to reactions. Takes the counters out the tunic. Come in for the Razor's Reflex. Up to 10. And this gives it go again. So it doesn't even have to pop his boots for it. Look at them apples. Great money cards here. Great combinations of generic cards. Anybody could actually do that. That is possible in anybody's deck. But it's more often there in the Ira or Ninja decks because you choose the first one where it's a sword or dagger attack. But crucially here, Rangzaman's doing the second ability there, where he is pumping up an attack action card with 1 or less. It gets +3, and if it hits, attack gains go again. So Marson blocked with a Sink Below. Falls to 19. E-Strike gains go again. And push the point now for 7. Wow. What a turn here again. Now that's going to be both push the points here for Rangzaman. Rangzaman. I don't know. He'll tell me how to pronounce it afterwards. But wow. Threatened 10 and 7. 17 damage turn represented here in Blitz. Pretty freaking decent. That was not too shabby. Now, Marson's got a tough thinker here. He definitely doesn't want to take the 7, but he knows that there's no threat of mask this turn. No threat of additional Kodachis coming in. So it is just going to be a straight up 7 that he sees. Or has to face his turn. And that's exactly what he'll do. He'll take 7, go down to 12. So he likes his hand. Definitely need to keep some pressure up. And we'll see if he can't equal back out these life totals. His tunic should go up to 3 here. That's exactly how it does. Doesn't forget it. Doesn't miss it. Marson might say he hasn't played for very long, but he definitely doesn't forget his tunic. I know I still do. It shows up, and I play with tunic every match. It's a sad life for me, but that's why I'm sitting here, and our players are sitting here at top table here in round number 6. Rangzaman takes the 1, goes to 16. Marson, considering a follow-up. Thank you, Zenith. I appreciate that. We love to hear it. Kodachi for 2, block for 3, and razors on that. We'll see if Rangzaman has a reaction here. Or excuse me, it is only a block for 2. So that's the Lake Tab. You had that right. I had that wrong. Rangzaman takes 3, falls to 13. Push the point for 6 because that one hit. Using his tunic counters there. Had just banked them, just used them. So making extreme effective use out of the tunic. And if it hits, he will also draw a card that Martian will then be able to arsenal if it does. So could get some good card advantage there. He will not have another action point right now unless he wants to risk it with the Snapdragons and see the card he draws. But that's going to be beside the point as Rangthamon blocks for 6. E-Strike and crucially there to keep in mind Razor's Reflex. I believe that's now both of them out. Both of them off the table now for our bottom Ira player here. Rangthamon going to 1 card in his hand on this turn. Just puts a tunic, ticks the tunic up by 1, arsenals the card and passes his turn. Doesn't want to use that card to get some Kodachi swings in. And I can't blame him. It's probably a valuable card. Because it looked also like he had a full red hand on that previous turn, which is why Martin now has complete tempo control of this game. And Rangthamon is going to have to use some serious life points here to get control back into this game. So, Kodachi for 1, Kodachi for 2. First one hit, second one threatening. Gets blocked. Flick Flack for 3. But crucially there, it pumps his Rangthamon's next block there by 2. Just straight money card in the Ninja deck. Now, he will have to block with the card with combo to get that effect, but still, those are very common cards in Ninja. E-Strike for 7, which means it's still going to get 2 cards here out of Rangthamon's hand if he doesn't want to take any damage. But he can block it for 5 with just 1 card straight up. Marcin's giving it go again. There's a huge attack here. It's not going to be the E-Strike into Command and Conquer that we've seen before from him, but it is going to be another attack. Likely a pounding gale. Ooh, life for a life. So if it hits, Martian will gain a life. It does not have go again, which doesn't matter. If it hits, you gain life. Hold on. So, life for life coming in. If it hits, Martian will gain a life. But it is coming in for 4. So, Martian sends his opponent down to 6. Life for life is a triggered ability there. Almost out there, but then remember, mistriggered update. Martian would have to declare the trigger, and so he's going to miss gaining a life there. So, could be a 13. We'll see if it even matters in this matchup. But when Martian rewatches it back, he might be kicking himself a little bit there. As we see Kodachi. First one hit, down to 11. Second Kodachi gets blocked with a Flick Flack. And so that means that Martian's next block with combo is going to be pretty big. Can block this for 1 card. So we're pretty much this game's going to go back and forth until we get down to the point where we start tempo locking. One Ira is going to tempo lock the other Ira out of the game, or at least attempt to. So keep an eye on hand sizes as we get closer and closer on these life totals. This has been a pretty explosive game so far, so decks are still pretty healthy. Sigils are still active. So keep that in mind. But eventually we'll move into that point here, unless a huge mistake happens and somebody is able to close it out over the top. Martian's able to block for 5. And that will do it there for Rangthamon's turn. Most likely, unless he wanted to Razors there, doubted it. And he doesn't. So he'll just pass up, leave that card in Arsenal, draw up to 4. His Tunic's at 2, so he'll be active next turn. Martian's will now be at 2. And we'll see what he decides to do. So 2 cards in hand here for Martian to start off. We may start seeing the tempo lock early. We're getting there in the life totals. Rangthamon's at 6. So Martian does have, if he can string together some good combinations, even a Command and Conquer could be pretty deadly here. I figured if he had that, he'd probably be firing it away pretty quick, all things considered. But Rangthamon does still have his Mask and Tunic to block, so 3 life available there. Marcin's in the same boat. 3 life available on equipment. Marcin's still considering. He must not like these cards. This must not be a good sequence of stuff. Wants to try something though. Doesn't want to send anything in. So Marcin just wants to use the health advantage that he's got to try to set something up. So he draws 4 Arsenal card and sets something up. So interesting play here. I don't know if it's going to come out on top because now Rangsman gets the tempo back. Gets to even back out the health totals here, or at least try to. Kadachi for 1 brings Marcin to 10. 4 over our Ira player. I mean, he's going into the turn with 4 cards in hand, 1 card in arsenal, and 3 counters on the tunic. So this should be a very spicy turn. And we may see Marcin go back into his turn with no cards in his hand. Could have an exude confidence there in the arsenal. Could have waited on. Figure he probably would have fired that one off on his previous turn. Be definitely keeping an eye on what comes out of the arsenal zone / out of the hand. So, yellow Razor's Reflex here. Nice, rocking all 4 ranks of man is. So I thought his Razor Reflexes were done. But this one's actually yellow, so +2. Brings it to 4. 4 over 2. But Marcin gets to add a yellow Flick Flack to it. And also increase his next combo block by 2. So 5 is the block, 4 is the attack. Rangsman, I like the intent there. Try to get mass triggers here, because that could have just closed the game out by itself, all things considered. So Rangsman, 3 cards left to work with, and 1 energy bangs on the tunic. We'll come in with a Command and Conquer, using the tunic mana to do so. So there's that Razor Reflex. So that must have been a yellow's Razor Reflex we saw in the bin earlier. And Marcin will block 6. Likes to keep that card there in arsenal. That must have been a yellow's Razor Reflex we saw in the bin earlier. Got a little feedback there for a second, but that's okay. As we go into Marcin's turn, no cards in hand to work with. 3 counters on the tunic. You'd think at this stage he gets a little punished for trying to set something up. Took 1 damage overall. 1 damage overall, and goes back into his turn with less cards to work with. So would have potentially had 2 cards that turn he decided just to set up. And then went into this one with only 1 card to work with, and that one was an arsenal. So super unfortunate there for Marcin. But we'll go back into Rangsman, who now has tempo advantage. Tempo control. Marcin does have the life total to use efficiently here to gain that back, though. Rangsman might not give him the chance. He still has all of his equipment. First hit is done with the Kadachi, so Mask is out. Oh, count him up. 1. Trying to count to 3 here. We have yet to do so today, actually. Yet to see the Mask trigger. Marcin, though, remember, could be at 10 if he had remembered the life for a life hit. But Rangsman going to come in for 2. Marcin's got a response. And that's a red Flick Flack, which will help him block the next one. So Marcin using the Flick Flacks likely here to get some tempo back. We'll see if Rangsman can string together some decent effects. So exude confidence. So Marcin will be locked out of defense reactions unless he blocks with a card with. So Oracle readings here from Marcin. So Marcin, going through the Oracle check for everybody watching at home here. Exude confidence. While it isn't defended by a card with equal or greater power, the defending hero can't play or activate instances, aka sigils here in this matchup, or defense reactions to this combat chain, aka the Flick Flags and Sink Belows. So pretty devastating against defensive Iras. But Crane Dance here is going to block for 5. Thanks to the combo effect from the Flick Flag. And now we go into reactions. Rangsman can get its exude confidence go again with the snack. Snapdragon. Oh, Marcin almost missed the 5 block. He did just remember his flick flack. Good catch there, Marcin. That is an effect you can miss. Marcin still 3 cards in hand. I would expect Rangzaman to give the Exude Confidence go again. That's exactly what he does. He could potentially also pump it if he wants it to hit. Oh, his second could Exude Confidence. Oh, man. This one's likely to hit, though. So, second Exude Confidence coming in for 4. The last one was blocked up pretty easily thanks to the flick flack effect. So, Marcin wants to just block for 3, keep his health total high. I agree with that. And Rangzaman will pump it up to 6. So, +2 pump. So, Marcin's looking at taking 3 damage, but this will be the last thing, last effect of the turn. So, Marcin takes 3 damage, falls to 6, and gets to go back into his turn with 2 cards in his hand and the counters on his tunic. Nice sequencing of cards there for Rangzaman. Wasn't exactly the most explosive turn there, but could have potentially ended the game if Marcin only had a handful of defense reactions. So something to keep in mind there. Would have liked to have seen Rangzaman maybe come in with the Exude Confidence first and get the first one go again, and then come in with Kodachis to just lock Marcin out of defense reactions completely for the turn. So Marcin starting in Kodachi. Needs to crucially here have a 1 cost attack again. Well, I mean, I guess has a tunic, could come in with the 2. Command and Conquer would be straight money here. Doesn't have it, so he arsenals a card and passes. So Rangzaman takes just 1, leaving 3 cards in his hand and 1 card in arsenal to work with, and his tunic should go up to 3 here. Sorry, Rangzaman's turn. Doesn't tick the tunic up. Just comes in with a snatch for 4. If it hits, draw a card. This might indicate Razor's Reflex to me. This does not have go again initially, and Rangzaman still has 2 cards in hand and 1 card in arsenal. If I was a betting man, I would bet on another Razor's Reflex. Marcin's considering. He has a mask if he still wants to use it to block. That's a Nourishing Emptiness there that he's going to throw out, though. And he is going to represent 5 on the block. See if Rangzaman fires it off. Although this would have to be Blue's Razor Reflex. He's used both of his reds and both of the yellows. Or not. What color is that? Is that a blue Razor's Reflex to you? Hold on, let me figure this out. So that's just on me. I thought he had already used it. I could have sworn he had pitched one on the yellow, but hey, you know what? Sometimes you just get it wrong. There's so many Iras, so many Razors. You don't get there. So Marcin comes in, has the defense reactions. Rangzaman tried to get there, but doesn't take any damage. So 5 to 6. Marcin is in the health lead, but Rangzaman does have the tempo advantage. Tunic there could have been at 3. A little bit of a late rounds here from both players. So, Razor's Reflex coming in. Excuse me, Kadachi coming in. That's not a Razors. It is a Razor, but not quite the one I'm thinking of. And Razorman takes one. Trying to go complete tempo advantage here. Who do you have here at the end, though, as this match gets grindy? Do you think Marson can get the last points of damage here? Or is Razorman going to take the tempo and just run with it? Comes in with the Lake Tap for 5, does Marson. Has go again naturally. 1 resource floating there. Once you just pump it up, this will require a 2 block from Marson. Or from Razorman if he wants to stay alive. Or start using some of that equipment. Blocks 3 of it. Doesn't want to use the mask yet. We'll go into reactions. Razorman does have one though. And it's going to be a blue Flick Flack. Which is nice because it's going to pump up the next block. Marson here I think is incentivized just to fire away with the Kadachi. But he goes with the Command and Conquer for 6 instead. That's still pretty decent. No defense reactions. Razorman is going to still require 2 cards out of the hand, even with the Flick Flack pump. So I guess if there's a card to have, well, could still just do the one with a Tunic. Sorry, using his actual equipment this time. So he will forego being able to use the abilities. So 6 there. Keeps Razorman's arsenal alive. So we'll move back into Razorman's turn. 1 card in hand, 1 card in arsenal. First little bit of equipment attrition. Not by choice there from Razorman. Going away. So Razorman, though, still gets to go Kadachi, and hopefully there has a 1 cost attack there in arsenal to keep up the pressure. And if it's a 1 for at least 4, he'll get some damage in. So life totals aren't quite at the critical moment yet, but we're slowly making our way there. Tunic is the first block there from Marson. Razorman coming in with the second one. Second Kadachi. This one's for 2. Thanks to the Ira pump. Marson, no block there. Wants to take 2. And that'll finish out the turn. So, Razorman maybe has a defense reaction there in Arsenal. Did block to keep it alive, but he wasn't incentivized to block that way anyways. All things considered, thanks to the Flick Flack pump. But that may be a pretty valuable card. So keep your eyes on the Arsenal zone down there at the bottom of your screen. It could be pretty valuable. Our health totals are now starting into the zone. Razorman, no blocks on there. Attack reaction from Marson. Let's hope that's a defense reaction, because he's representing 4 with no blocks. Pull it out there. Yes, it was. Exactly. Flick Flack from the Arsenal. Unfortunately for Marson, Marson tried to do it. He tried to have it. Forces Razorman to have a defense reaction, but you know it's Ira. You know they got it. So another Flick Flack coming out. So next combo card still is only going to be plus by pump 2 by 2. Turn a tempo for 5. Which means Razorman can block this with 1 combo card out of hand if he's got it. It's an Ira, so he likely does. Blocks for 5 is what Razorman does. So 2 cards there in hand. Now for Razorman, Marson is going to have 4. And will likely go back into his turn with 2. So Razorman here would be very beneficial for him to have that 1 cost attack card or less floating there in his hand. Could get Kadachi, and then the attack. Force a response here from Marson. Marson's going to start to take some damage. Takes 1. Another Kadachi coming in. So this one's for 2. We may see a response here if Marson puts Razorman on that last red Razor's Reflex. No defense there from Marson. Razorman, no reactions. Flick Flack there from Marson. So his next combo is also plus 2. Jesus, these ninja blocks though. Woo! And Razorman comes in for 4. So that 4 normally would be a very good attack, but the Flick Flack stops the math up here as long as Marson's got a card with combo in his hand. got a card with combo, he gets it for 1 block. If not, he loses out. And of course he's got the combo. It's Ira. Come on. I know you guys are screaming at me like, come on, you know he's got it. Why even mention it? It'll be that one case, that one outlier. So 2 cards are 2 cards is the current tempo. Keep an eye on that. Whichever ninja starts to gain more is going to likely win the game. So Kodachi for 1. Rangsman can take it. He's got masks to block the second one as well. Mask is not likely to get triggered anymore at all in this game. So Rangsman is going to be very incentivized to just block the 2 on the Ira. Takes the 1, 3-3. All square at 3. Now, we'll see what the follow-up is. Ooh, it's going to be a flying kick for 6. Marcin did not want to come in with the other Kodachi. Wants to just try to get some cards out of the hand. So this will not be pumped up because it's not Chain Link 3 or higher. So 5 plus 1 from Ira, 6 total. Rising Man can block this with 1 defense reaction and the mask if he's got one for 4. A Sink Blow, red, or a Flick Flack. Except Rangsman is going to block 6. 2 cards out of the hand, so 2 for 2 still. I would have liked to see maybe Rangsman take 1 there and keep a 3rd card in his hand, but he likes his 2 better. So, Kodachi to start. Deck's starting to get low. And we're going to walk this out to the completion because I think we're not worried about time on this one. We're gonna see who wins. We're gonna get a winner one way or another in this match. Marcin takes the 1, falls to 2. I believe we have our life totals flipped. Marcin's at 2, Rangsman's at 3. Marcin blocks the 2. Ooh, Rangsman didn't have the 1 cost. Oh, that would have been money for him. Oh, I was feeling for that, but no, did not have it. So our Rangsman, look at his cards. Has 4 to start right now and 1 in the arsenal, but Marcin crucially gets 3 in hand to work with. Gets to start with Kodachi into another attack. Almost guaranteed, but not necessarily. Remember, this is defensive IRAs. So, Marcin checking graveyard. Rangsman, what's a Razor's count? There's only 1. We've been in this situation again. It's a repeat of round number 3. Or was that 4? I believe that was round 4. Did he say 2 or... Oh, I don't remember. I don't catch. So, deck check. 4 left for Marcin. Rangsman has... Ooh, a solid advantage at 7. Look at them apples. Uh-oh, Marcin could be in a little bit of trouble here. Definitely to push the point on some of this health. He could still tempo lock Rangsman out of the game. Actually, both players could tempo lock out of the game. Takes it, goes down to 2. No Razor's Reflex there yet. Second Kodachi. For 2. It looks like Rangsman chose to put yellow Razor's Reflex in his deck instead of Sigils, is what it appears. Mask is the block for 2, trying to keep cards in hand. Rangsman still has all 4, and this is an attack for 1. It does not have Go Again. So that kind of tells me that Marcin probably has a defense reaction there in his arsenal. Could be Razors. Rangsman has 4 cards to work with, blocks for 3. Arsenal's a card and passes. So, Marcin drawing 4 out of the 5, leaving 1 card in his deck. The 5th one there was from the pitch he had just thrown down. And going to Rangsman's turn with 3 cards in hand and 1 in arsenal, you'd have to think that Rangsman probably locks Marcin out of the game here. Kodachi for 1. Marcin can afford to take this. Should. Uses the health. Yep. Falls to 1. Critical moments, boys. Command and Conquer for 7. Oh, man. If Marcin's looking at defense reactions, he loses. Oh, man. Rightfully says it's disgusting, and I agree. So Marston's going to react to commands being played. Sigil of Solace. Not a defense reaction there in the arsenal. Sigil gains 3, goes up to 4. Still dead if he's looking at a hand of defense reactions. That was his last sigil. Has gonna have to block with 2 attack action cards. No defense reactions here. None allowed. Now, Ranged Man, that will be his last attack this turn. Has no way to pump this. And has no go again after this. So, a bold choice there, considering that Ranged Man could have additionally had a second Kodachi coming in. But I think Ranged Man purposely chose to do that in order to prevent any sort of flick-flack shenanigans. All right, so Marston. 2 cards to work with. Ranged Man. 4 cards in hand at 2 life, though. Now, Marston does have the life advantage thanks to that sigil. So, I mean, we're in that critical moment, boys. And lady. Kodachi for 1. I believe Marston's razors are all gone. Ranged Man deciding. Doesn't want to get tempo locked out of the game here himself. He does have some life disadvantage he's going to have to make up. You definitely got a thinking moment here. Blocks for 3 is the start for Ranged Man there. Marston Kodachi for 2. This is a lethal attack. So Ranged Man blocks for 3. I would like to have seen Ranged Man take the first one. Does he have he has a Fluster Fist for 2. It's going to get another card. So Marston is starting to get the card advantage, but he's out of cards in the deck. He's only going to have 2 to draw. Ranged Man has a defense reaction. Yellow Flick Flack. And so Marston has 3 life, but only has 2 cards. Ranged Man is still very healthy on his cards. And he's going to come in. He's going to get at least one of those cards out this turn, as Marston's going to take the first one. And he's going to have to block the second Kodachi. So, Ranged Man wins this game if he can come in with a 1 or less cost attack right here. Marston blocks it. Now, critical moment here. Does Ranged Man have it? A lot of these attacks are going to be 0 cost. Most likely because they're going to be from the Kodachi pitches. But no! Ranged Man didn't have it! So Marston still gets a chance. Oh boy! What an ending here. Rising Knee Thrust is the last card Marston has to work with. It's blue, so he at least goes Kodachi. He gets 2 cards out of hand there, but Ranged Man will pull the last card out on the next turn there. As we go back into Ranged Man's turn, 2 cards in hands. Gets to just pitch them. Come in Kodachi. Marston's going to take the first one and have to block the second one, and that is going to end the game. Nice there. Nice job there from Ranged Man. Doesn't even need to attack here. Doesn't even matter, but still has it. Soul Beat Strike to finish the game out. Look at that. All right, sorry about that, guys. It's just a little banter there from Ranged Man. And so that will close it out here in round number 6. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you guys coming out. This was Uncharted Realms hosting Out of the Box Gaming's Armory Blitz. It was a fun 6 rounds of action that wrapped up here. It was a little bit of a long day because we had a lot of Ira v Ira going to time, but still, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked what you saw, if you had a good time, hit the like and subscribe button, and then come join us on the Discord. Come play in some of the events. Come have fun, because it's just awesome. It's lovely, and we would love to have you. But on behalf of myself, James, and John, we appreciate you guys for coming in. We always love to see you here, and we'll catch you at the next one.